We cannot see everything. We are blind. Me most of all. That means
You're not wearing
I
your
guess we should
glasses.
just start. Oh. Yeah, I left them at the house the other day while I was painting because I did not want to get paint on them. And I was like, fuck. Don't have my glasses. So, which kind of stinks because you know how, like, when you wear glasses so long, you just don't, like, look right when you take the glasses off? So, like, I take my glasses off and I'm like, wow, I look a little more Chinese than I'm used to looking myself. So
Hey, new record for getting
I'm just like,
canceled.
have I always
10
looked at that
seconds.
way, or is that just like a perception thing? Because I'm like squintier. I'm just like, so,
Hmm.
so, yeah. I don't know. I just think I look better with glasses on.
You certainly see better.
Well,
But
maybe. Maybe. And the sad part is they're cosmetics, so. Anyway, hey guys, welcome back to our Tuesday Donuts and Dragons game in the adventures of Athoria for Black Tower Games. Woo! Yes, so this week we have chapter 80, which we're gonna pull off from last session, which was chapter 79, obviously, because that's how numbers work. Um, and so the party went around running some errands in the city of Er Ariellen after finding out that Caleb could actually teleport. And so you guys got some errands taken care of, was trying to get some more information on your next jobs, so that way you guys can kind of prep your travel arrangements there. And then Caleb was kind of playing around with a spell he got a while back, but just hadn't played around with. And so now we are here roughly around lunchtime on the 41st day of the first seed. And I guess we will see what you guys manage to accomplish during this chapter. I mean, are you guys going to travel to Avedon? You guys going to yeet that whole quest line away and do something different? I mean, I never know with you guys. But the day is yours. Do with as you will.
Just a quick question to the group.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that we were preparing to potentially run into this poison dragon, but there was a quest that may have been along the way. Is that correct?
I believe the dragon was potentially on the way to the blackmail impersonator.
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around, but that's okay. That's what I was confused on. I didn't know if we were going to go try to take care of the blackmailing first and then go to the dragon, or if we were going to try to go towards the dragon and then take care of the blackmailing after.
Yeah. So, just for clarity there, in Avedon, the last you guys heard is the guys who were trading on your good name did so in Avedon and then departed west out of the city. You guys also found that there was supposed to be a dragon west of the city, and so two birds, one stone there. You guys also have a quest for some aid regarding plague or sickness or something that is happening in the village of Alder's Mill that is east of Avedon, kind of halfway between there and Night Harbor. So that's what's on your quest log at the moment.
I am currently looking at the map that is present in Roll20. Is that the correct map to be looking at?
Nope, that's the Free Cities map.
Okay, cool. I will look in our Discord for the other stuff.
Yes, it should be pinned. That should be the Athoria map updated, I believe is the correct name of it. So yeah.
Cool.
Is this the same day, or we had our bar crawl and then we went home, kind of
Then we had a bar crawl. We went home, rested, woke up, went shopping. Now you were playing around with the weapon that Caleb made. It dissipated after an hour, and that's where we were.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Caleb.
Well,
And then I think we were about to go to bed, correct? Or is it in the afternoon?
it's
Like lunchtime.
Okay.
Yep, you guys, TP'd like relatively early in the morning and then decided that was the perfect time to drink. So yeah.
Sounds fair.
Called brunch. Get into it.
Being efficient with our day drinking.
This would have been a different day because I've changed from summer Yandere to spring Yandere. So we're in a different day. Summer Yandere was the one that got drunk and had rest. I got my spell slots back and switched into spring Yandere.
Well, we can see, because I know you guys teleported back on the evening of the 40th. And then you guys will have rested at that point. And then you guys travel to the Legendary Lord, the Hungry Fox, and the Lion's Roar.
I do have at the end of the notes, the last session, that we awoke in Sweet Nut Manor on the 41st day of First Seed, so the day has started.
Yeah.
And I believe it should be midday.
Yeah. Midday.
Gotcha.
So that's what I was saying, is I guess your bar crawl actually happened in the evening and not the morning, and I think that's what's got us all confused. Which makes more sense. But yes, either way, it is around noon on the 41st day. So, YOLO.
Well, Izal, do you plan on asking Caleb to get you another one of those super light weapons?
No. I tried it out. We'll tinker with the spell, I think. But I have a sword that does the same thing. It does look cool, though.
Yes, well, it's fully made of magic.
Just not magical in the sense that I need it.
And what kind of magic sense do you need?
I need it to be able to hit a ghost.
Well, it is magical. Would it not be able to hit a ghost if it is magical?
No, it's magically crafted, so it's like hitting a glowing stick. It won't do anything. But like my axe, that's enchanted to have a honed edge permanently, so it would work.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can ask Caleb to see if there's anything he can do about that.
Yeah. But not right now. That's work in progress on it.
Well, he tends to have to research a lot of things and look into stuff. It might be best to give him the heads up as soon as possible so that way he can work on that for you.
I told him yesterday.
That you need a magical item that can hit ghost?
Oh, we were going with the axe stuff. And I told him that it's great, but it's not perfect. And we exchanged notes then.
Great. Yandre's going to get up because I'm assuming we're probably still outside where Izal was messing with the weapon before it faded away.
Yeah.
At least that's what it looked like. I watched the tail end of last episode, and I think that's where we stopped at. So I will get up, and I will walk back inside and head back to Caleb's room. And I will go upstairs to Caleb's room where I have closed the door, and I will knock on the door this time.
Come in.
Jiggle the handle, and then I open the door. Hi, Caleb.
Hi, Andre. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Izal was working with your weapon thing, and it looks like it disappeared. Must have ran out of time.
Yeah, it lasts for about an hour. I'm going to see what I can do about that, but the current moment, that's my that's the extent of what I'm able to do with that right now.
Well, Izal did bring up a concern about being able to hit ghosts with it. I thought it was magical, which I thought meant it could hit ghosts, but apparently that's not the case.
Yes, it is a magical creation of a normal weapon. I can change the way it looks, the way it acts, but in the end, it is still a normal weapon for all intents and purposes currently.
Ah, well, Azal didn't think that it would be important for you to work on that right now, but I figured it would be good information to give you that she's looking specifically for a weapon that could hit ghosts. Well, she's looking for another weapon. She wasn't really looking for the weapon in the beginning, but you've given her a weapon, and now if you can make it hit ghosts, that would be best.
I will see what I can do with that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that was it. I'm going to go back downstairs now. It's about lunchtime, so I feel like I'm going to get something to eat.
I will join you in a little bit.
Okay. I will be downstairs.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Andre turns around, closes the door, jiggles the handle, and then does like a light pat on the door, and then walks downstairs.
I feel like Yonder in his head has just said, "Good door."
Essentially.
You're doing a fine job, Door.
And Andre will rummage through the pantry or food supplies that we have at the house. This technically is really his second or third time at the Sweet Nut Manor, so he's still a little unfamiliar with everything that's in there.
We ain't got no food.
You don't even have sweet nuts here?
No, just the sign.
That has been a topic that's come up before then.
Well, before you said there was sweet. Well, before it was called Sweet Nut Milk, is the group that you were working with, or the DBASNM, which was doing business as Sweet Nut Milk. But you don't sell sweet nut milk. And now that I'm looking for food, you don't even have sweet nuts here.
We don't even have food.
I saw that.
Well, we just got back into town from like being gone for a couple weeks, so we didn't keep food stored because it would have been bad by the time we got here.
Well, nuts take a long time to expire.
Don't think we put nuts on the menu last time. We should definitely stock up on nuts, though. Non-perishables.
I think that would be good. So what do we do about food?
I think we have to go shopping.
We just got back from shopping. Should we go again?
I was shopping for like fun things, not living things. Necessities.
Well, I guess that brings up the point of when do we plan to leave?
I don't know. Soon? The longer we wait, the
Today
farther,
soon?
the farther away the imposters get from their last stone location. So today would be fun, or tomorrow, since it's halfway through the day already.
Okay, well, we should probably ask the others.
All right,
I'll go get Vogel.
I'll go.
Caleb's
Caleb.
coming down.
I'll go, Caleb. Kayla, oh, there you are.
Yes.
When do you want to leave?
I'm fine with as soon as possible.
We leave in an hour.
Alright. I'm all packed.
Oh, shit.
Upon hearing that, Yandre will go up to Vored's door and knock on the door.
Yes.
Can I come in?
Only if you don't jiggle the handle.
Then I can tell you what I have to tell you out here. It appears that we're going to be leaving in an hour. Are you going to be ready?
There's a pause for a moment. And then the door swings open right in front of your face. We're already leaving?
Yes, we plan to leave in an hour. Are you going to be ready?
I mean, yeah, but can't we leave tomorrow?
Well, the concern is Izal said that the longer that we wait to travel to go after the imposters, the further away they get. And it's not my name that's being dragged through the mud, but it does include yours.
Fine, come get me in an hour. And I just close the door.
Great. And then Yandere will still jiggle the handle to make sure that it's locked or it's closed. And then walk out.
Stop!
Yandere just looks at the door, pats it, and then walks back downstairs. Volred said to come get him in an hour. He didn't seem very pleased with the fact that we were leaving here today, though.
I don't know what to tell you. Not doing anything here.
And we have no food.
We're gonna go and have no food on the road.
Well, there we can actually make our own food, and they have other things.
We could make food here too, but
But we can't go hunting for the food.
you can.
Don't you still have some of that leftover meat?
Let's see how much I got left. I think it's down to dwindling down here. 8 pounds left, guys. Might have to go on another horrifying murder spree soon. Or just buy some. That's also an option. You know
Yeah,
what?
that's fair.
I'm gonna go buy some. Since we won't have not a lot, just some. That way it's not just
Doesn't that thing hold 10 pounds?
What? No, it holds way more than
How much does it hold? 20?
that. No. We put a whole bunch in here. Let me check. 100 pounds.
Okay.
It's like a fifth of a bag of holding.
Then yeah. Go buy stuff, and we can maybe change it up a little bit. That way we're not eating the same thing every meal.
Go see what I can get. I will go out to the market as quickly as possible. Because I said we'd leave in an hour. Not thinking ahead of time.
Well, good news for you is that you live barely a block away from Wyvern Square, which has a very bustling market. And you guys have bought fruit and stuff there all the time. So yeah, however much food-wise you're willing to get, from where you're at, you can get just about anything. Though the area of the city you're in, there's also a much higher than normal availability of like high shelf life kind of food, since this is an adventurer's quarter. So if you want to get something that's more trail hardy, you know, jerky, salted or aged meats, things like that, all of that kind of stuff's available there too.
Let's see.
Dried fruit, nuts of various sweetnesses.
That's more of like a house thing. I'm here for travel food. I'm gonna get, say, 20 pounds of meat that is not ADAC meat. It'd be like some other kind, venison. Well, ADAC is venison in a way.
Yeah.
20 pounds of probably 10 and 10 of 2 other high protein, good meat on there, and we'll get some vegetables. Probably, I don't know, 10 pounds of vegetables. Between carrots, root vegetables, stuff that'll stay good for a while.
Well, you gonna put it in the bag of colding?
No, I'm gonna put it in the bag of holding, and then I'll put it in the bag of colding if I need it to last longer.
Fair enough.
Like,
I mean, it should already last a little bit longer because you won't have very much oxygen in there.
All right, I buy some food. How much will this cost me, real quick?
For that, probably 4 silver.
All right, get some food. I'm gonna throw in a tip here, so we'll do 8 silver. Now come back. At 50,
Carrying
50
sacks of
58
greens
minutes later.
and... you guys left without me. Oh, goddamn it!
I'm back. I'm back. We can go now.
Well, he went out. Eric, is there a bookstore near?
Sure. You can find some variety of books. Then there are some that are specific about information. You know, so I guess, are you looking for like fiction or nonfiction or like how-tos?
Volred is looking for a joke book.
Okay. Yeah. You can find a nice book, levity on the trails, just joke book is you find one that's kind of odd. It's like adventurer humor. So,
Perfect.
yep.
How much is it?
You can for that one, that's a nice thick book, and that's 25 gold. Books are expensive.
Okay.
You move
Okay.
type.
Yep.
What's the name of the joke book?
Yeah, we'll just call it Levity on the Trails. Why not?
Got it.
Yep. An adventurer's guide to the critical skill of comedy. 3rd edition.
Oh man, 3rd? That's like not their best one.
Well, I mean, they keep adding jokes to it, But, yeah. It's just a collection of, like, jokes that use, like, adventuring puns and monster humor, and there's even some funny stories, adventuring stories that you can tell around the campfire and pass off as your own kind of thing.
Before we leave, I'm going to go to Salusa, and I don't know, we need to RP this. I'm going to give her like 100 gold.
Okay.
We'll never see her again.
Probably.
No, she's too high maintenance for 100 gold to do anything. I mean, think about it. You have a sack of 600 gold just chilling in a bag under your bed. So, by the way, eventually you guys will have to get your mounts back.
Should probably get them shipped over here.
Am I stuttering on y'all's? Because for me, not on Discord, but in my view of the stream, it looks like I stutter every once in a while.
Your video is, but not your voice. At least from my end.
Okay, interesting. All right. I was just curious. But yes, are you satisfied, Volred? Anything else? Okay. Yeah, you can kind of tell it was interesting because the local bookseller was just kind of looking at you and was like, "Oh, that was an odd request." It's like, clearly this is not for him. This is a gift for someone else because you have the stately, regal appearance. Both of your clothing and your elven lineage. But anyway, so yes, you return in time. Izal comes back with groceries. Salusa's got some coinage.
All right. Let's go.
Fine.
Let's head out.
Yeah, to Avedon, did you guys ever decide whether or not you guys were going on a boat or were you going to teleport? Oh, right, you guys were taking the adventurer's ship that was heading to Avedon. That is right, I recall that. Yes. So, you guys head down to the docks and meet up with the adventurer's vessel. It's kind of easy to tell. It bears the regal sigil of the Adventurers Guild. Blah, 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 blah. I can't remember it off the top of my head. A dragon. A roaring dragon. So kind of sitting there in full sail. It's a smaller ship. It's kind of a clipper. It's built more for speed. But it's kind of heavy on the draft, so it's definitely a seafaring vessel. But from those of you who have some experience with Caleb and the Blink spell, no, you're kind of told the primary purpose is to transport goods between different branches of the guild, and then it also transports members as needed.
The most valuable.
You guys are responsible for producing a lot of gold, for the guild. They make a lot of money in job fees from you guys. So, at any rate, let's see. You guys are gold adventurers, so you guys are taken past the kind of general open area into the forecastle of the ship near the front, where there is just kind of an array of small rooms. These rooms are really tiny. They're basically like larger walk-in closets with bunk beds, a small writing desk, and like a potbelly stove for warmth. You guys will also get like a porthole window that does open. And you guys are given, I guess, 3 of those rooms. So you guys will double up in 2 of them, and then one of you will be off to yourself. Just to kind of make your way. So at least you do have private chambers, if at least cramped.
Our own little cubicles. Okay. How many days is the ship ride taking?
Let me check here. Blah, 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 blah. My quick notes, transportation. From Ariellen to Avedon is 113 miles. That means that's, for this ship, that'll be a 3-day journey.
Okay.
So, because it's a clipper, so it moves pretty fast. Well, you guys will be sailing through the inner part of the sea. Pirates are not common in this part of the waters because they're the main trade hubs, and so it is very heavily patrolled by the Legion.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Sure. Yeah, there's always a chance. I mean, the Dread Pirate Charles Grimvane is... I mean, he's a Dread Pirate and an elusive guy, too, so...
Yeah. He's got a bounty on his head, too.
That is true, a very big bounty.
Killed
So...
3 birds, 1 stone.
Alright.
I will ride with Calmac. nothing to do during this entire trip.
Okay. Is there anything you guys were wanting to do?
At some point during the trip, I'll probably either have Izal or Kelmec help me test out the warding bond between Caleb and myself.
Okay.
How do we test it?
You either hit Caleb or you hit myself.
Exactly what Zal wanted to hear.
Oh, I would never want to attack him. Oh yeah, yeah.
Are you attacking me?
Gotta cast a spell.
Before the spell was even cast. Yeah.
I was like, can I cast the spell first?
Nope.
Preferably, it would be better if you hit Caleb, though.
Great.
I cast Warding Bond, and Caleb, the platinum band that you put on lights up with divine energy, dark divine energy, and I just look over at Izal and I say, okay, you can hit Caleb now.
Roll to hit.
Now, Caleb, as the energy kicks in, it feels like you have a lot more resistance. Essentially, let me explain the spell so he knows what happens whenever I cast it later on. You get a +1 to your AC, and then you also get a +1 to your saving throws, and you have a resistance to all damage. But I take the other half of the damage, is essentially what that does.
Gotcha.
But he swings a 22 at you.
Shield. Does nothing.
It's like,
I don't have shield.
I was like,
wouldn't
I
help
kind of
you
need him
anyway.
to hit you. All right. Assuming he hits, or is all hits, what's the damage?
It would be 8.
Awesome. So you would take 4 points of damage, and then I would take the other 4.
Where do you hit me?
Right in the left shoulder. The book holding
So
shoulder.
you-
With the flat of the axe.
No, there's a hammer.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
blunt side.
Oh,
That was his writing hand.
He's not amphibious.
and then you see Yandere also squint like he just got hit.
Neat.
Well, it works.
Yeah?
How do we know if it works both ways?
Well, the bigger concern was just making sure that it worked one way.
Oh. But
So if you get
got
hit, I get hit as well?
I'm ready to get. Hold on a second.
It's only one way to test it.
It just says each time it takes damage.
Mm.
So it doesn't say anything about me taking damage and then splitting it that way. We could test it, but you won't take damage. It's my spell on you. It's based off of the wording, unless there's some other additional wording that I haven't seen somewhere.
So you're saying don't swing at you.
I mean, I allowed Caleb to get hit. It'd be fair for you to hit me as well.
Okay. Neat. 12.
That doesn't hit at all.
I missed. It's like you're hesitant to let me hit you. Like, oh.
It's pretty cool. I like that spell.
We're just gonna assume it'll work.
Okay. Well, that was really realistically. I just wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to attempt to cast a spell before we get into any danger, and make sure that I understand how it works. So that was what I wanted to do, and that was all I needed.
I like that. That'll come in handy. Thank you very much.
So, if you both got hit with like a lightning bolt, would you then take 3/4 of it instead of just like half of it? As if you both like saved away from it, you would both take half, but then he would take 1/4 because you would take it. So you end up taking 3/4.
If we both save, yes, that would be the amount.
what if Yandere saved and you failed? Then Yandere takes.
I take half of whatever damage Calum takes. So it's not on me. Like whatever I do on my save is the damage that I take regardless. Whatever Calum takes, I take half of that. Because the spell specifically indicates that I'm taking half of whatever damage the target takes. So I would take 3/4 if Calum doesn't manage to save.
Okay.
If we need to read into that later, we could do that later. But right now, that's what it looks like it's going to do.
Cool.
That will definitely come in handy.
For one of us, at least.
Okay. So, you guys aren't gonna do anything. Is there a downtime activity that you'd like to sink 3 days towards?
Calum,
So-
you want to study?
Feel free to send me whatever in the Discord, so that way I can mark off progress for stuff. But just throwing it out there.
I'll take 3 days of rigorous activity. Mark me down for that.
Okay.
Is there anything that I can do? I don't know what there would be.
Well, I mean, typically in this time you can learn a new skill, or try and gain an additional proficiency, or learn a language, things like that, if you have nothing else to do. But if you come up with something in mind, like you don't have to do it right now, but if in a little bit you're like, oh, there's something that he might want to do, just send it to me and then we can work it out. But okay.
I think there was something that we were talking about that I could do during downtime activities recently, but I don't remember what it was.
Make spell scrolls.
That it spell
I need
scrolls
money
and
for that.
potions. What?
He needs money for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well.
If we get attacked by this dread pirate, we'd have all kinds of money.
I will start making a spell scroll.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys arrive on the morning of the 44th, in the city of Avedon. As you guys have kind of approached a little bit, Calum has probably told you a little bit about the city. And probably pointed out as you guys were heading east and then kind of were popping up north. You guys passed between, in a shallow draft between two islands, making your way north. Calum would have pointed out to one of the islands on the east and let you know that he has a Ruka that lives there, but told you that he has no intention of visiting him, because that probably would have come up. So, as you guys reach the port city of Avedon, it is a city that is exceptionally large, though not quite so large as Air Ariellen. You would have to guess, at the distance as you approach, maybe about half the size. But it does, however, have a very wide, deep harbor. And you can see numerous towers and banners flying from the buildings. You also see kind of like this large kind of citadel kind of standing off one side, as well as looks like the tops of several churches just kind of sticking up over the high walls. Unlike I guess more so even than the capital of Air Ariellen, the port here is bustling. There is the wharfs that sit right up to the city, and then there are a number of kind of shallow reefs where additional arms of piers and other ports have been built, outstretched in this kind of bizarre spider web. that traces out. And so as you guys approach, your ship has to start kind of navigating these man-made canals and waterways of like this large marina that could, if necessary, house hundreds of ships. As you guys pass a large dry dock where it appears several ships are in the process of being repaired, you guys come to the waterfront. A large tangle of buildings kind of huddled up next to each other in this kind of bizarre mixture of stone and plaster. But still quite large. As you guys kind of come to the edge, heading on one of the wide ports near a large kind of 3-story stone building that has kind of this massive square guard tower, open topped with several like scorpion ballista kind of ranged out on the side. You guys come to stop as the gangplanks are dropped and you guys come topside. The ship is a flurry of activity as you guys kind of start making your way down the gangplank. You see an individual with this kind of gray-blue doublet, kind of trimmed in silver, who kind of sits there with a tome and a pen, ready to take your names and information as you come down. Once you show the sigils of the Adventurers Guild, you basically just kind of see him scratch off sections of the form and just kind of get general information, the name of your guild, and then basically you're told that the guild itself will pay for your census and excise fees. Unless you have commercial goods that you have come to trade, which I don't believe any of you guys do.
Not this time.
Yeah. So as you guys are allowed to continue on deeper into the city, Calum, you would know this as Ward 4, more specifically the waterfront, overseen by the Lord Portal. The city of Avedon is yours.
Let's take it.
I'll look at the party. Was there anything in particular that you guys wanted to see here? Or is this more of a staging ground heading out?
I would like to see a wine menu.
So you want to go to a wine tasting?
I mean, I'd settle for a pub, but if you know of a wine tasting, enlighten me.
I can definitely see if there's any vineyards around here that would have something going on.
Perfect.
Mr.
Okay.
DM.
Yep, so you're gonna try to find some place around here that's got wine?
Yeah.
Yes. You find a place that you have frequented before. That you kind of take him to. You know that he's going to have something to say about it. But you know, it's one of those places that like looks one way on the outside and it's different on the inside. Volred, Calum takes you to this tavern right off the boardwalk that has this kind of it's a mostly wooden structure with wooden shingles that seems to have been painted many times, but even then the layers of the paint are just kind of peeling off a little bit due to the harsh weather here in the waterfront. So it gives you that kind of very aged tropical vibe, where the building is old and hasn't exactly been maintained the best. But the atmosphere, from what you hear on the inside, is lively, and there does appear to be an awful lot of people here.
Have you been here before, Caleb?
Yes, I have.
It looks... It sounds interesting from the outside.
Well, let's go in and see.
Okay. As you guys approach the door, you see kind of in this painted but faded wooden sign, a sign that says the Salty Dog Tavern. As you step in, this is a building that's got a slight kind of nautical theme. As it looks like most of the interior is this large open area with these massive, like, circular whole timber frame of everything. These large kind of like cupolas and such that allow, the warm air to rise and then the crossbreed to kind of carry it out with you. You see numerous... The place is absolutely packed, at least, like 100, 200 people, all kind of huddled around tables and benches, and different areas as bartenders are running around dropping large plates of mostly seafood, but occasionally other types of food as well. Mead and ale appears to be flowing free, and more interestingly, there's kind of, while many of the people here are definitely sailors, you see this place is frequented by not just laborers, but also like ship's captains, merchants. So there's not so many nobles, but there's definitely a diverse crowd of people. So you imagine this place could probably get a little rough at night, but here in the morning, it's just a really, really nice place. But as you kind of walk in and head towards the barkeep there is a half-orc gentleman. Kind of got this kind of dark brown skin, and it's got like this little modeling of like black, just kind of around some of the more worn areas of his skin. He kind of sits there with these kind of like large tusks and these kind of really piercing like yellow eyes. That's a little bit unsettling. But other than that, he's got long hair that's just kind of tied in a very long braid, and he just kind of sits there. Welcome to the Salty Dog. What can I do you for?
Hello there. What is your favorite wine that you currently have?
Well, you're looking for something domestic or exotic. We have stuff all the way from Eladin. We have some winter grape from Tybelsay. We also have some of summer wines from Aidenheart.
Summer wines?
Indeed. All the
Does
way
that
from
mean
Martes.
Some are wines
Some are
and
whiskeys.
some are not?
No. Summer, as in they're made in summer grapes.
Yes. Please tell me more.
Well, we have a variety of vintages to choose from. Most of them are from the northern region of Aidenheart, near the mountains. Some of the forests are some old, very old vineyards out there. We also have some that use wild muscadine, if that's more your thing.
I'll try one of those.
All right. You looking for a bottle or a glass?
How much for a bottle?
The bottle will run you 10 gold.
I'll take a bottle.
All right. And he kind of reaches down, pulls out like a pewter goblet, and then goes, shit, let me run in the back right quick. Be with you guys 1 second. And he kind of rushes to the back, comes back a couple of minutes later with a bottle. Kind of goes and sets it off to the side. That's for you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay.
I'm going to start drinking my wine.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a nice red. Definitely got some fruity, hoppy notes, a little bit of citrus. You'd probably sit here and think it's a nice wine to have by itself, or perhaps with a charcuterie, something a little lighter.
So is this like, what is this more of like an earth palette, a fruit palette? Are we talking Pinot
Fruit
Noir?
palette, and I would say it's sweet. It's not quite a dessert wine, but it's sweet.
So like a Cabernet, but not a little sweeter.
Yeah.
Not like a full rosé.
No, not quite that. He
Damn,
shakes
now
his
I
head
want
as
wine.
if he knows something about wine.
I could crush a full bottle of Pinot Noir. I won't, but I could.
That's impressive.
I'm kind of looking over at the rest of the party, thinking like, are they going to order anything? I mean, Volred's internal monologue is, I don't care if you don't, but you're kind of boring me right now.
Is that all you need for it?
Yeah.
Alright, well, we were gonna go because we have stuff to do.
Yep.
Fine. And I just chug whatever's left in the wine glass and leave with the bottle. Are there
Okay.
open carry laws in any of this world?
In some places, sure, but not where you're at.
Perfect.
People
I'm
would
just
care
gonna-
more if you were drunk and disorderly.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna walk around nonchalantly, like carrying the bottle by like its tippy top with my arm, like kind of all the way down, just like kind of swinging it back and forth, you know, kind of by like my thigh.
Yeah. Anything else you guys are doing?
I thought, okay, if they were last seen.
Anything else before we head out, or are we staying in? Or are we staying in town?
Well, we should see if we can find some clues about the imposters while we're here, since this is where they were last seen, right?
That's fair. Where did they use our name? The Adventurers Guild here,
Adventurers
right?
Guild, and they stole stuff from merchants. We got a rough description of them. We got a black-haired dwarf, a halfling, a gnome, a half-elf, all working in the same area. So we'll keep an eye out for groups of them. You know, it might be unlucky if we could find them, but who knows?
So yeah, let's head that direction. I'll show you where it is.
All right.
I'm sorry. So where were you guys heading?
The places that we know that they visited,
Adventurers
the
Guild.
imposters, the Adventurers Guild, and we'll get some information about
So you guys
where they were,
head-
so we can find out more about them.
Keeping an eye
Okay.
out for a group of mismatched individuals. I know we'll probably find several groups that match the description, but doesn't mean we can't question innocent people.
Okay. So, you guys head off to the Commons ward, which is Ward 9 here. The single largest ward, housing most of the city's population and its many points of interest. You guys head on to the Old Quarter, where the Adventurers Guild is located. And this place is a pretty sizable area, like a 2-story building. Looks like it was perhaps once like a noble's villa that has been kind of repurposed. Not so grand as the castle in Air Ariellen, but there does appear to be a lot of adventurers that are coming in and out. And you can tell because it has the standard red and silver banner of the Adventurers Guild, the red banner with the silver dragon on it. As you guys are kind of making your way in, you walk through a set of double doors right at the front, and then immediately to your left is some individuals that you can see are clerks based on their outfit or their outfits. As you kind of come in, they're in the process of helping some other people. There's a kind of a lounge section off to your right, and you can kind of see ahead of you at the back side of this building. It seems to be kind of like a large squarish type building with a central courtyard, and at least the bottom floor is kind of all just archways and is open to that courtyard. So most of that bottom floor where you're at now is, I guess you can say, technically inside, outside. But I guess you're gonna talk to the clerks first.
Yep.
Because all need some Adderall.
Some people don't have that, so.
Well.
I'll go talk with
Okay.
the clerk.
Okay. So, talking with the cleric, not the clerk.
There might be a cleric.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just when you said it, I heard cleric when you said it, so that got it in my head. Yeah. So what is it you're going to inquire?
When's the last time the group going by the name S&M, DBA S&M was here? And
The clerk, a young woman with kind of a honey blonde hair and kind of done up in a bun in the back with what kind of looks like little chopsticks or something through it. Kind of starts flipping through the book and goes, well, let's see here. We have a little over a week, though I must say that it looks like we have a hold on that particular adventuring group. She's kind of looking at you. Would you happen to be the adventurers from the capital?
yes, we are the Silver Knights of the Mythal, the proper group. They were that last group that was here that was impersonating them. We're investigating it.
Yes, of course. You see her just kind of, her eyes flit around a little bit, just kind of check out like the necklace pendants you have for the guild. Yes, we were told that you would probably be coming. Your liaison sent over some documentation, and he arranged for you guys to have rooms here at the guild for at least a couple days while we try and sort all of this out.
Do you have any information of where they were where they were staying at while they were here?
They were staying here in the guild as well, as we do offer accommodations to guild members. They were doing a few small odd jobs around the area. Don't worry, those have been purged from your record. And mostly everything went well until we gave them a higher paying job with one of the local merchants guilds, and that did not go so well. But again, not that it will reflect upon you. We've reached out to the Merchants Guild and made them aware of the situation. And so the guild has forwarded restitution. And so we obviously have the bounty on the individual's head. So that way we can collect on that restitution. When last we saw them, they were last seen in a village north of here, at the edge of the forests, heading along the trade way west to Asterim. Based on the distances in that case, it's quite possible that they could have made it to Asterim, or perhaps even gone on farther west to Heldenvale, or even as far as Eladin.
Well, I guess we'll start moving into that direction to try and get information from one of them.
Can question for DM? Can I tell what class the clerk is?
Assuming she has a class.
Assuming.
Cleric.
Roll me an insight.
$14.
Okay. You can't necessarily tell so much. As far as like a player character class, you wouldn't know. She's probably just a standard commoner stat block. Though, based on the way she comports herself, she definitely, you get the sense that she's not low-born. Perhaps not high-born, but perhaps a middle-class family. She stands up straight. She's well taken care of. She manicures her appearance. So, perhaps she is middle class, upper middle class, something like that, you would figure.
Okay, thank you.
And what was the city that was to the west that they also might have been going to?
Well, they were heading. The first stop on would be Asterim, which is the next kind of large watering hole. That would be that direction. There are a couple small villages and hamlets along the way, the kinds of places you wouldn't see on the map. Farther west from there is the village the Heldenvale, and then Eladin.
Alright.
Yeah, both of those last two are cities you guys have been to.
Yeah. They won't get far there. We might have ruined our reputation.
Well,
It looked like the group that was here last time.
Did we ruin them in those locations?
No, it's usually me.
Okay.
I'd say quite a little bit the opposite. I mean, you guys actually managed to slay some hobgoblins and goblin guys. So, it actually wasn't that bad.
That means Gorbek's.
I mean, any negative part to your reputation probably came from Gorbek. And you guys do also have a merchant friend in that city. Remember, he lets you stay at his house for a while.
Was he the one with the... No, that was the family that lost their husband.
Oh yeah, that was the capital.
Yeah.
That was the ghost family, right?
No, that was a different one.
Yes,
I was
that's the
talking
job
about
you did for Hamun Kaniros in Eladin. No, in Eladin, remember you guys were out carousing or something, and you guys met the merchant who let you guys stay in his house while he was off traveling, and so you guys stayed in his manor
Yeah.
to basically house at the place. And then Gorbek built a goblin hut in the backyard, and Arthur grew some azure leaf out in the woods.
And Gander put a hole through part of the ceiling. Cannon.
He put a hole in part of the ceiling of the Dandy Luke Inn,
Was it the old
also in
house that fell
Eladon,
off?
but that was an inn.
Was that the house where the random like rabbit dug a hole up into the ground?
That was different. That was in the
No.
capital.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in the capital. That's the house where you basically sat around all day and smoked azure leaf and got really kind of pissed at everyone.
That's a lot
Oh,
of the
okay.
house.
Okay. Yeah. That's been at least 2 of them, but I think that I know which one you're talking about. This was roughly right after we went to Arthur's mom's place.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
'Cause
guys
that was
weren't there very
Eladon.
long. Yeah, I think that was only like you guys were only there 3 or 4 weeks, and most of that was downtime. So, and then Gorbeck did Gorbeck stuff, and then you guys went to Caer El Mare to delve the ruin, and then you guys GTFO'd and went somewhere else.
Yeah, it's hard to tell which cities we got kicked out of or got in trouble in because Gorbeck was with us for a good portion of it.
I don't think you've actually gotten kicked out of any of them yet.
Did he steal the jewel from the floor?
Well, that was
before we could get
Caer El
to-
Mare in Eladon.
Yeah, I was like,
So-
Eladon's where that happened.
Yeah. That is the city, but you guys didn't get kicked out. I mean, ultimately, the guards were very accommodating in my effort to avoid player warfare. So, yeah.
Right, so we should head to Asterin and check in at the small little villages as we go there. See if anyone's seen looked for some clues. See if anyone's seen them. I think that's our best bet. Any thoughts?
Do we have their actual names at all?
Nope. They were using your name. Well, not all of your names. They were trading on the names of the original DBA S&M group.
Question for the DM. The spell sending. How well do I have to know them, or can I just say the person that was acting me?
Well, see, that's a really up for interpretation.
That's why I'm
for
trying
the
to
DM.
clarify, because if I could just...
Now, generally speaking, it should be someone you have that you know, but again, that's subjective. So I usually say if you have enough information to narrow it down to a particular individual, that you can be like, you get a sense of that person, then maybe. I would not say that you would have enough information in this case. But, I mean, that's
Okay.
a good question. That's probably something that we need to adjudicate. But,
Okay, we can work on that later. I was more going to try and see if I could bluff them into telling us where they are.
yeah.
But scratch that idea until we gather more information.
Don't ask if you can do it. Just try to do it and let Eric decide if it works. Let him sort through the rules later. Like, get a picture of the general. You've never met the general, but you've seen a picture of him. You got a good idea of how they act.
I'll keep that in mind for future endeavors.
It's just stuff that I did. Alright, so we've got everything we really need. We're not going to get much information from the city unless we want to kind of spend a night here asking around, see if they might have snuck it back in and are laying low. But we'd all have to kind of spread out because a group of us looking for them in the city would be pretty obvious. Or we can just go.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Let's head out.
I was talking to the party.
I'll say let's
that's-
head out.
Yeah.
So spread up to look for them
Either
for additional information.
either stay here for like a night and try to get a look around for information, either like CD bars, places where people could try to lay low, or we just head out for the nearest city for Astron and check every little hamlet while we go.
Yeah.
That's
as
what I
you,
meant by spreading out, heading to the next city.
Did
I
someone
don't
say
want to
ham?
stay here.
as you guys are having this conversation in front of the clerk, she's just kind of like glancing over you at the line that's starting to back up behind you. She just kind of slides over some brass keys. Your accommodations are on the second floor on the north side.
Ooh, thank you. Sorry. I look at the crowd. Sorry. Our bad.
Yeah.
Let's move over. You can stay for the night.
Okay.
Sleep on a non-rocking bed.
Wait, are we getting ham or not?
we that's a hamlet.
Oh, I wasn't
We
listening.
can get ham. I didn't buy any though, so we have to go find ham.
I mean, I don't want it that bad. I mean, I thought the ham was here. In my defense,
It might be.
that just sounds like effort.
So we want to spend the night here and head out in the morning.
Time to
Eric, what time is it?
At this point in time, it is late morning.
then better to go ahead and get out now because I think it would just make things easier on us to go ahead and go while we have daylight.
Okay.
So we're choosing to go now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go back up to the front counter and I hand back the keys. Like, we're not going to be staying here tonight. I slide them back over and then we leave.
Yeah.
Bye.
Very well.
A wave. Bye.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, fair enough. So you guys are at Avedon. You guys trying to size this window. Okay. So you guys go to depart Avedon going north.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. So, as you guys depart northward, and you guys are just heading just as far along the way as you guys can.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Can I get some D20 rolls for you guys? 3 of them each would be great.
Do we do an extra one for the one we forgot to do at the beginning of the session? No, I'm kidding.
Ooh, those are good. I got 18, 20, and 11. Those aren't as good.
Hey, they're middle of the pack. Don't do that.
They're better than we normally get.
Caleb, what you got?
17, 6, 13.
Okay, full red.
15, 13, 11.
Yandre.
6, 10, and 15.
Yeah, I mean, on the whole, you guys actually did pretty well in that. Okay. Let's see here. You guys are traveling by foot.
Yeah, old school.
Okay. And who wants to make the perception checks for you guys?
Kelmac. Fine, I'll do it. How many?
Let's go ahead and just start with one right now.
We're being followed.
7.
Solid number.
Okay. Okay. You wouldn't mind giving me another one?
8.
Go the right way, guys. It's going up.
Yay.
Bad news. We were attacked by bandits. Good news. We were attacked by bandits.
Well,
Good news.
yeah.
We didn't find anything. Sick. Bad news.
So, you guys are kind of making your way at this point in time. Not necessarily a whole lot to see. Mostly as you guys head north, there's just some smaller towns around that are mostly agrarian. Some woodmen that you guys can kind of see around. You do, however, towards the end of your first day, make a stop in a small hamlet called Greenbrier. The place is relatively small. Looks like only a couple hundred people. Nice enough. But they kind of start looking at you guys a little warily. You know, as some people in small towns do sometimes when adventurers start walking around in their towns.
Someone should go put on the charm and ask them if they've seen a group of like a dwarf and a gnome and a halfling and a half elf. And a few other people. Not me though. I pick a lot of enemies.
Is there a small tavern here or a place that the people gather?
There is a public house. So yeah, I mean it serves food. It kind of serves as like a combo inn and tavern, affectionately named the Greenbrier Inn. But it is not large, and does appear to be mostly for the locals.
I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go in and go talk to whoever's running the place.
Okay.
There's a lot of kids in this
Okay.
tavern.
Yes, that was a child. Okay, I was like, what the
Everybody,
hell did I just hear?
now go back to your room.
Yeah. You're grounded.
These kids are rude.
Okay. So, you make your way into the affectionately named Greenbrier Inn. And as you do, the place is packed towards here in the evening as many of the local townspeople kind of gather together to eat and share in candlelight. As you guys kind of mark your way in, people kind of eye you a little bit, but then seem to guess that you're no one that they should fear. And as you kind of look over, you do see a human woman behind the bar that actually glances over at your group and actually throws on a really wide, bright, welcoming smile.
All right, I'm going to go up to her.
Okay.
Good day to you. Whenever I get up to her.
Yeah. As you kind of approach, she's kind of taking some empty plates and tankards and kind of setting them back on the bar. Hi, welcome. The name's Greta Blackwood. I run the Greenbrier Inn here. Kind of eyeing your pendants. Adventurers! Well, we get your kind coming in from time to time. You need some food or perhaps a place to stay?
Mostly just food for now. Food and drink, and we're gonna chill here for a little while. We were actually trying to find a few people. They may have come through this town. I'm not sure if you would recognize them or not. Pretty sure you would, given that I doubt you have too many people passing through. It was a group of adventurers, not unlike ourselves. And then I'll give a brief description of each individual, or at least the races, and see if she has any recognition of a party coming through like that.
Let's see here.
And I could do a persuasion if you want me to.
No, that's fine. I mean, she's eager to help. It's just whether or not she recognizes anything. But yeah, she starts thinking around a little bit. Like, we did have some adventurers come through. I'd say a little over a week ago. That would fit that prescription, I'd say. They were stayed around a couple days, heading out and doing some patrols for us. We had a little problem with bandits a little while back, and they were kind of handling that for me. As far as we know, they ran the bandits off. At least they haven't been back in some time. It happens from time to time. We paid them, and they went on their way. Are they in any trouble, perhaps?
You didn't have any issues with them?
Issues? No. Not me personally, I'd say. The alderman, Thaddeus Greenleaf, he had a bit of things to say. It was a bit unusual. He's such a nice halfling. But, yeah, he'd probably be able to tell you more. But, yeah. Still.
Well, thank you very much for the information. And how much was the food that we just got? I figured we got food and drink.
Yeah, she's just sitting there. Don't worry about it. This isn't exactly, you would say, a commercial establishment. We call it an inn, but really it's just a place for us to get together and see each other on the end of the days and such. So it's just some extra food we had lying around. So just take it as a gesture of goodwill. And I hope that you are safe along your travels.
Thank you very, very much. And as we take our food, 2 gold is sitting on the table. And I'm going to head back to the table.
And she just kind of gestures like, oh, okay. And she takes the gold and kind of, lets you go.
And I'm assuming they were all here for me to, for them to hear that.
Yep.
Okay, and I can repeat it. I figured we'd eat and then go try and see the alderman.
Okay, so you guys are gonna go eat and then go see the alderman.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so after departing the Greenbrier Inn, you guys head to. This place doesn't really have a meeting house, and so asking around for the alderman, people just kind of point you around. These people seem to be actually surprisingly quite nice and very hospitable. Many are kind of making sure that you have a place to stay. One of the local farmers offers you a place in his barn if you need, a place out of the weather. But you do eventually come to a house near the edge of the hamlet and kind of knocking on the door. It's a simple place, kind of painted green wood and a thatched roof. Looks like there's kind of some small gardens for like local vegetables and things like that, herbs. The door opens and you find this kind of portly, middle-aged halfling with these kind of like mutton chop beard and kind of scruffy hair and like these small kind of spectacle glasses. And he's kind of looks at you like, oh, right, welcome. Is there something I can do for you, fine folk?
Hi, my name is Caleb. We're just passing through, and we're inquiring about a group of adventurers that you might be familiar with. I was told that you had some issues with some adventurers about a week ago. I was trying to inquire about them to see what they may have done to upset you.
I believe I know the group you're talking about. Yeah, it came through just a little over a week ago. Seemed relatively nice folk at the beginning. After all, we get adventurers here all the time. Many of them are good, honest types. But there was a bit of issue where they mostly we didn't necessarily have too much for them to do, I'd say, but mostly they just sat around for a couple days and drank of our food or ate our food and drank our mead and really didn't do much. We are hospitable folks here in Greenbrier, but at a certain point you just start feeling a bit used. I tried to have a nice calm conversation with their leader, nice dwarven lass, and she got quite cross with me, threatened to beat me over the head with a warhammer, and I was not going to be taking any of that, so I got some of the local groups together and kind of chased them out of town. Not the nicest thing, I know, but still, they don't belong here in a civilized land like this.
Sounds like
I was told that they also help with bandits that were around here.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's one way. We did tell them that there were some bandits in the woods, and that we could pay them good, honest labor if they could go and take care of them for us. They went off in the woods for most of the day, came back and demanded payment, even though they had no proof of the job actually being done. So, of course, I wasn't going to pay them for that. I can't even show me bandanas or armaments or anything like that. Just walk out in the woods for a while, come back and say, give me money. We don't make a whole lot of money here. And still, I suppose since they've been gone, we haven't really had any bandit issues, so it's possible they did handle it, or perhaps the bandits had just moved on and they saw an opportunity to cash in. Either way.
The bandits that you had problem with, how long were they here before these adventurers came along?
Oh, well, it's hard to say exactly. Bandits, particularly as you get farther and farther away from the city and out more towards the wilderness, they pop up from time to time. Usually they're not here that long, as there really isn't much for them to take. But, still, we had that group around a couple of weeks, but it's not that uncommon. Most of the time, especially since we are still so close to Avedon, that they'll come, they might raid for a little while and be here a few days, and then most of the time they'll run away, figuring that we would have called the guard out, and, you know, they're not stupid. They know to move on to greener pastures before the law comes down and handles it personally.
So either way, they could have either fixed it or they could have just gone away, and there's no way to know which. I understand that.
Aye. Well, if they don't provide any proof, no, there wouldn't be any way to know.
Yeah. Do you happen to have any idea where they have gone since?
When they left, they were heading out west. As far as I can tell, they're pretty much the only way they could go is all the way up to Astorum. I suppose they can go farther west than that, but still, even at that pace, that's, let's see, how long would that be actually? Yeah, it's nearly 4 days travel to Astorum, and they went on their feet, and while that is a very common trade way, it's not exactly safe. The patrols don't go through there that often, and mostly the farther west you go from here, adventurers go out that way much less. They tend to go out farther east, so it's just wilderness.
I understand that. So, I'm going to go, we'll be heading that direction. We're trying to follow them. We have some personal business to deal with them. I was just trying to see if they have wronged you or done any damage to you guys while they were here.
I understand. We did have someone from the Adventurers Guild come back by a few days ago, inquiring after them. From what I've been told, they're not legitimate adventurers, which honestly makes more sense now that I think about it, but still, I suppose then you're part of the squad sent here to take them in, right?
Well, yes and no. This is more of a personal nature. They are using our names to get around.
I see. So, they betrayed in your good name then?
Yes, and we weren't even anywhere near here at the time. And we ended up getting arrested for things that they've done. Kind of makes it personal now.
Arrested is a very harsh word, Caleb.
Detained.
I was detained for several hours.
We want to try and stop them, and if they feel that the Adventurers Guild is on their tail, we don't really know what they're going to do. So we're trying to catch up to them pretty quickly.
Well, I suppose you can make your way out that. if you do end up heading west of here, I suppose the next stop you guys will come to is a small hamlet, Silvermoon. It's or Silverwood. It lies kind of at the edge of the forest. Uh, the lady that technically is the landowner of that place, Isadora, she's pretty nice. I've had some dealings with her from time to time, so if you do get any gruff there, just let her know that Alderman Thaddeus Greenleaf sent you, and she should be much more accommodating.
Thank you very much. You've been a great help.
Oh,
And,
my pleasure indeed. Thank you for restoring a little bit of honor with the idea. I have to admit, one bad apple spoils the bunch, they say, and some of the people in town, they had gotten a bit cantankerous when adventurers be coming in recently, so it'd be nice having some proper adventurers in town again to at least let us know that there are still some good ones out there.
I definitely understand that. And we will definitely try and uphold that name as best as we can. But thank you. You've been a great help. I'll be on my way.
Of course. Well, if you do need anything, just let me know. We also have our own little inn here. Greta runs it. She's a fine lass, and if you do require lodgings or food or anything, she's the person to talk to. She'll get you squared and shipshape.
Yeah, she was the one who told me to come up here. We stopped by and got some food before we came up here to talk to you.
Ah, well, there you go. Skilled cook, one of the best we have here in the hamlet.
That's for sure. And I'll start to make my way out. And after we leave the house, I'll look at the group. Do you want to stay a day here or keep going?
I think it's night. I would rather leave in the morning.
I'm down with that.
Who knows? Maybe we'll run across those bandits that they didn't stop.
Yeah. Although they said the bandits were in the forest, not really to the west.
Which direction?
What did he say a direction?
West. So, like, if you're looking at the map, you guys are along the trade road, like right where the road comes out from the forest. So as you guys travel west, you guys will be probably within a quarter mile of the entire northern stretch of that woodland.
Okay. We don't have a horse, do we?
What would you use a horse for?
For me.
What do you need a horse for?
I was thinking about using the arcane eye tomorrow while we're traveling through the woods. While we're traveling on the path. Using the arcane eye to scout the woods to see if they did take care of the bandits or if they are just scattered.
Wow. Can't you use, like, Sunny or someone to go look for it tonight while we're sleeping?
Yeah. Problem is that we generally aren't that great at following that specific directions.
Well, you should.
Thinking back to the time where I sent him to go searching and he was traveling for 3 freaking days.
You should probably give him better instructions.
So, yeah, I will. I'll see what I can do with Sunny before we go to bed.
Yeah.
Do you want a dome or try to sleep at the inn tavern?
I figured we can just go to the inn.
Okay.
give them a little bit of recoup some of what they lost. So figured we could leave a tip before we leave. We want to restore some faith in adventurers.
Alright, well, let's go get a room.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I'll leave the directions for whenever I go to bed.
Okay. So you guys head to the Greenbrier Inn and speak with Greta again. She happy to see you guys come back, and with the knowledge that you guys are staying, she takes you out to the back side, heads like up some stairs into like as you enter, it's like a large area that looks like it's mostly for storage, but part of the second floor is partitioned off to enter into like two small rooms. Both of them have very basic, like two very simple straw mattress beds, and like a little table, and a ceramic pitcher for water and stuff. So, kind of looking around, she gestures. I know it's not much, but it's clean and sits above the tavern room, so should stay nice and warm. We keep the fire burning in there pretty much all night. So, hi. Then there's a well out back if you need to get any fresh water. Just a little bit up the hill there is some privies if you need to be, well, if you need them. Is there anything else I can do for you?
I'm good. Look around.
All good here.
Very much appreciated.
My pleasure. Just let me know if there's anything else I can do. My house is actually attached to the inn, just here. So feel free to knock on it if you have any problems, and I can help you out. Oh, just outside here in this little storage area, there's an armoire. There's some extra blankets in there if it gets a little too cold at night. I don't know. But yeah, just let me know.
Will do. Have a great night.
Pleasure to have you.
And right before we go to bed, I'm going to get Sunny out. And I'm going to give him a direction. The direction of west, where the woods are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have him go out searching to see if he can see any remnants of the bandits. And I'm going to give him the instruction of I want him to be back at dawn. So however long he searches, I want him to be back at dawn, regardless of...
All right.
Cool.
And that's what I'm doing for the night.
I will
Okay.
patrol the town, then go to bed.
Okay.
Anyone else?
All right. So, you guys head to town, or head to sleep. And I guess we can go ahead and take our 15-minute break right here, since that's an excellent stopping point.
Yeah, then those bandits will contact us, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Follow the bat all the way home.
I will say, every time I see Sean look behind him, I'm like, ooh, what's Reggie gonna say?
Now this time it's just my dog barking.
Yeah.
Roger. At break time. Woo.
Bye.
Yep. Just kill you all. That's the whole point.
Just remember, if you throw something-
Yandere isn't back. Yandere's dead, everybody. Oh, man. Oh, okay.
just slides
He's
in the
there.
camera.
He just had invisibility cast on him. Oh, Yandere, you little scamp. Hey, guys. Welcome back to Tuesday Dungeons and Dragons. I did call him a scamp. Why?
That's fair.
I'm just like,
It's not the worst thing he said.
does that have a meaning that I don't understand the meaning to? Or
It's just not a word I've heard you use very often.
Horrors,
it is a bit.
those are high on the list. Scamp?
Yeah.
Not so much.
It sounds like you're trying to say scampi. Are you talking about a dish?
Ooh, shrimp.
No, I'm saying scamp. It's kind of like a rascal or an impish individual.
Well, my dog.
Yeah, what does Google say? Oh, that's true. You did have a.
I think you're talking about pasta.
No.
You mean Scampy?
Scampi's a type of pasta, though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's talking
Yeah,
about pasta.
Scampy,
Clearly.
noun. It's a rogue, a rascal, a mischievous youngster. Which, I mean, Yandere does have levels in rogue. So, just saying. Anyway, yes.
Personalities.
So, you guys had lodgings above the Greenbrier Inn. And waking the following day on the 45th of the first seat.
Okay.
And yep. And was there anything you guys wanted or needed to do before you guys hit the road, Jack?
Well, I was going to converse with my bat.
Right, yeah. So as you guys kind of awake the following day and are looking around a little bit, you kind of start looking up in the rafters and you see your bat hanging from the ceiling, kind of a little sleepy. But having a quick conversation with him, basically it is communicated to you in weird magic shit that there don't appear to be any bandits in that part of the forest, at least, that he was able to look at. He did say that there were numerous places that looked like were once bandit camps, that like they might move around a little bit, but at least at the moment, none.
All right. I will.
You have the
Sure,
look
that-
of someone who's got a child right off screen that you want to punch.
I had two actually. I had one right here, and one like right here.
I know. Everyone just wants to play Dungeons and Dragons in my game. What can I say?
But yeah,
Would
Um,
Eric kill a child?
Like the character?
Wait,
or
okay.
Like
Yeah.
in real life? Those are two different questions.
Yeah.
I stand with my statement.
The result
I
will
mean,
shock you.
one of the BBEGs of last campaign was a 12-year-old boy that the party murderized. So, I mean, would I ever kill a child? No. Would I have a child present that the party would kill? Yeah.
Summer
course.
Gale deserved it. He fireballed me. I take offense
Yeah.
to that.
more than once.
I take a lot
More
of
than
offense
once.
to that.
Yeah.
See,
I get-
remember the
for
name,
context-
Eric, I remember the name.
Yes. What's his first name?
Hell if I fucking know.
Damien.
Derek.
Damien Summergale. Human. Yep, he was a child that somehow or another was like an Antichrist type character who gave his soul over to Dispater, the Iron Prince of the second layer of Hells. So
It was not fun.
And we gave them
Yeah.
his body.
yep. Sean's character really hated that 12-year-old. and then killed him and trapped his soul.
I don't think
So
Omlik ever actually was able to hit him because he was always flying.
yeah. But hey, you got Alistair, the Iron Tyrant. So you
Omlik killed a
no,
lot of people.
Alistair only did kill a lot of people. Anyway, as far as this campaign is concerned,
I'm used.
Omlik is long dead. So yes, that's what Sunny was able to communicate with you. Did you have follow-up questions that you wanted to ask?
Nope, that was it. He gained enough information and relayed it quite well. Thank you very much. You may now go rest, and I will release him from service.
Sure. Okay.
Probably pass this information on to the alderman. That way, at least they know that there's actually not bandits waiting for him.
Yeah, we can do
Okay.
that. So at least as far as we know, there is no bandits in that section of the woods.
Okay.
We can do that on the way out.
Yeah. Thaddeus Greenleaf is very happy to hear that. He does seem a bit curious, and so but once you explain everything, he's like nodding his head, and it's like, yes, okay, I know. We've had adventurers who've done that kind of magic before.
Yeah. But as far as I can tell, that's I don't believe there's any, at least in that section. So at least they were good in that right. But we're gonna keep on. We're gonna head out, and then we'll head out.
So you guys head out from Greenbrier, making your way kind of northwest along the tradeway before it kind of turns and starts heading west, somewhat following the curve of the woods, the greenwood to your south. And as you guys are kind of like looking north, you guys can see like the far edge of like the Silver Mountains, and the numerous ranges that lie far beyond there. Just trying to sit here and think. This is probably not a section of road you've traveled before, Calum. Though you've probably heard of it. Let's see, who is going to be leading your party?
As in, like, trying to traverse the area?
Well, Fulry did
Yep.
such a wonderful job yesterday. Really think
Yeah.
we should.
No, I'm asking, is this looking to traverse, or are we just keeping a lookout in the area?
A lookout in the area. You guys are traveling along a road, so as long as you guys are doing that, there's no need for traversal.
Okay. Well, Summery Andre will volunteer his services.
Yay, Summer Andre.
Okay, so what do you need me to roll?
Some perception would be great.
Morning, Sal.
Yo! So you guys need me to, like, look around out here, right?
Just help keep an eye out.
Yeah, I'm blind, pretty much.
Great, I got you. Thanks to the Sentinel Shield, I get advantage on these.
And also,
First one.
pass. Ooh, damn.
Yeah, so that's a 27 on the perception roll.
It also means your passive is extremely high too.
Yeah.
That is also very true.
That passive is aggressive.
Well, it's Summer Yandere, so yeah.
Nah, Summer Yonder is just aggressive.
It's just openly aggressive.
So yeah, as you're kind of looking through at this point in time, like this section of the countryside is quite calm and docile. You do occasionally spot like way out in the distance, like some wild animals. Mostly, you can see some forms of like wild boar or adak. Sometimes you can like in the far distance see something that might be just a little bit bigger, and you occasionally can spot and see tracks of some other animals and stuff that have come through. But so far, at least, it appears that this area of the road is relatively safe and well traveled, considering there's not a whole lot. Like the road is fairly compacted. There's not a whole lot of grass and vegetation that's trying to reclaim it. Now that changes as you guys get farther west, where the road starts getting a little bit more overgrown. It starts a little less packed. There's a little more loose gravel that goes, and there's sections where it looks like it starts making like some ruts. Towards the latter end of the day, you guys actually pass a merchant's cart that is coming the other way, of a dwarven individual who appears to have this wagon that's kind of set up as like a mobile blacksmith. Just kind of eyes you guys as you approach, and then as you guys stay, non-aggressive, he just kind of gives you a curt, tip of the hat as you guys pass.
Hey, yo!
Yep. And so it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, man, it's nice passing. And then you call out, and then from there, he's kind of pulls back on the reins and kind of looks over to you.
Yo, just a quick question. You seen anything crazy up above?
And he's kind of looking back at you. Travel along this section of the road has slowed down quite a bit. Rumor has it there's a dragon about a day's ride west of here. So, thankfully I hadn't seen it myself, but I've been mostly traveling along the night. But that's caused me to lose a bit of time, so I'm trying to make it to Greenbrier by the end of the day, so I'm pulling a long one.
Good luck.
Aye. Thanks. You guys stay careful. As you guys travel west of here, there's not that much tree cover, so if the dragon comes out, you'll be in plain view. Not a good place to get caught.
That poor bastard.
Much appreciated.
Oh, that reminds me. I pass out, while in plain view of the dwarf-haired blacksmith, I pass out potions of poison resistance to the party. Here you go. Forgot to hand these out.
He can't tell what those are.
I just handed out vials to everyone. Just in case. This will come in handy. Caleb, I don't know how helpful this is going to be with you. Given your constitution isn't the best. But certainly worth a shot.
Thank you.
This lasts for an hour, so don't drink it now. Don't.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
you see his Volred's like,
No. This will stop against the poisoning of alcohol.
All right, let's go.
So, you guys continue farther west. At this point in time, you guys assume you're still a couple hours to go before you get to the point where you guys really should stop for camp. Did you guys want to push ahead and risk exhaustion, or do you guys want to make a camp out here in the plain, in the prairie?
This is outside of the, like, we know we have a few more hours to go before we need to make camp. Are you saying, like, after that point?
Yeah, when you're at the part where you guys have hit your traveling day, and to push further, you would risk exhaustion. You know you've still got 2 or 3 hours left to go.
I'm up for camping.
I would camp. I'll put the dome up and try and make it as invisible as possible. That way, things have a less chance of seeing us if something happens.
Okay.
So we can't.
Start making some food.
Okay. All right. So you guys start making some food. You got the dome, and you guys attempt a long rest.
I'll
Right.
take first watch.
I could take second.
I'll take third.
I'll take fourth.
Calmac will go with Caleb because Caleb cannot see in the dark.
Yep.
Because he's
Yeah.
normal.
So, Yandre, as you are making your way through second watch, you get about halfway through your watch before you kind of hear the distant sound of rustling and skidding stone. You kind of glance off a little bit and find an individual, humanoid in shape as far as you can tell, probably about 100 feet out, making their way westward in the same direction you guys have been traveling, along the tradeway. As he starts getting a little closer, you see the figure kind of start to slow down a little bit and kind of watch and look for signs of movement.
The dome is invisible to those outside of it, right?
It can be
No, it's not invisible. It's whatever color.
I have made it a dark opaque color where you cannot see anything inside of it. And I've tried to make it to where it blends in with the ground.
And about how far out is he?
At this point, he's closer to 80 feet. Just kind of check for anything, a movement.
Okay, well, I'll hold off until he gets closer to like 40 feet out or so to see what he does.
Okay. As he kind of gets close, like within about 60 feet or so, he comes to a little more view. The figure's definitely humanoid. And you can start to hear a little bit of like rustling, like for some gear. And then out of the night, broken by the sounds of the meadow at night, the crickets and other insects, a voice kind of whispers out a little bit. Pardon, is someone here?
Yandre will look out. Yo.
Oh. Apologies. You wouldn't happen to be a bandit or highwayman or brigand or mugger of some kind, would you?
A mugger?
Past life, maybe.
No, I'm not no bandit. But if you find any, let me know.
I see. Are you merchants or travelers or adventurers of a sort?
You asking a lot of questions without telling any information.
Well, apologies. I just want to make sure that you're not dangerous before I approach.
Well, how I know you's not dangerous?
Well, if I was dangerous and meant to harm you, I probably would have attacked you from a far way off instead of approaching your camp. But also, I'm just a humble bard. I'm of no real danger to anyone, really. I mean, unless you're not a fan of poetry.
Yeah, I've seen people's do that where they shoot from afar, and then I've seen people that's not good at that, and they have to get real close. So I don't know if I could trust you yet.
Uh, well, yes, I suppose that makes sense. Um, I suppose we should begin this way. Sorry, I am a traveling performer, musician, and skilled songwriter and orator. The great Arden Bright Song. Obviously, you've heard of me, of course, if you're from
Not,
nowhere.
not really. And by the way, there's apparently a dragon out here, so talking real loud like this is not the smartest idea. I know, because I usually talk loud, and they told me I can't do that during my watch.
Well, yes, I suppose that is correct. Well, I have, of course, shared who I am. Would you mind reciprocating?
Yeah, I'm Yandre. I got some friends in here, and we're traveling. We're an adventure in what's it called? The guild. Guild. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you're adventurous. Ah, well, that's, honestly, that's quite a load off my mind, really. As you said, this place can be somewhat dangerous. Apologies. I'm not sure if you speak for your guild or not, but perhaps I could hire you for a bit of temporary work. You see, I'm traveling to the village of Silverwood. Just a few hours left to go still. And I could use a bit of an escort.
How does Yandre feel about this individual?
You can roll an insight. I mean, you can't really see him that much, but...
An 11?
Hard to say. He seems to have an easy way with words, so obviously used to talking. But that could mean that he is indeed a brilliant orator, or it could mean that he's used to bullshitting people. You don't... he seems somewhat cautious, but perhaps he's also probing you. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't like it. Give me a second, because sometimes I'm not really good with people's, especially people I can't see, and you're just kind of talking out in the distance.
Oh, I completely understand. As far as I'm concerned, I'm talking to a... Actually, I'm not really sure what I'm looking at.
Yeah, you're still talking. I gotta ask a question. Stop 1 second. Yandre will go back into the dome and go over to
Volred's, I mean, still technically awake and can hear all of this.
Yeah, but Volred doesn't really engage with people very well. I mean, he does. He could talk, but he usually doesn't handle these particular situations. So Yandre would go over to, unfortunately, Izal, who I'm assuming is asleep.
Yes. Only a couple hours following her watch.
Oh, there's 4 watches, so we should be okay.
Oh, good.
Hey.
What's up, bacon?
Hey, so there's a guy out there that's asking a lot of questions about hiring us and stuff, and you usually handle the money and the adventure stuff. Can you come out and talk to him real quick?
All right, hold on. I roll over. Like for a couple seconds, it's like I went back to sleep. Oh wait, hold on.
Hey.
Sorry. I roll over. I grab a backpack and axe. Rub my eyes and cover one up. Trying to get the blurry out because I just woke up. All right, I'll go do this. I just walk out the dome.
And I go with it all.
Where the hell did they go? Where are they?
They over there.
They look.
Hey, yo.
Dark vision adjusting the eyes seems a lot harder than from like everything else.
Yeah. So it's a little shifty, and then sure enough, as it gets pointed out, you see a slender humanoid out in the road. Then very well. That's certainly very helpful. Well, sorry. I am Arden Brightsong, the famous bard. Of course, you've probably heard of me. And I'm sorry, you are?
Hold on. The conversation of like 80 feet is very impolite. 1 second. I reach into my side bag and I pull out a lantern and I light the lantern.
Oh, I didn't know you were gonna like make it bright, or else Yandere will see you trying to do that and just tap Lightbringer.
Ah, shit.
Well, you said you needed. Well, you were looking like you needed light, so I mean, I figured I'd do this.
Focus light. Angled only one direction. Okay. So now the air is bright. Suddenly. I walk over to Arden Bright. I also get out paper to try to write down this person's
Brightsong, yeah.
You're Arden Brightsong? And I'm not from here, so unless they're from the north, I have no idea who this person is.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah, sure. Traveling poet or story orator?
Yeah, as you kind of click on the light and kind of approach and get a look at him. So Arden Brightsong is a half-elf bard with a lean and wiry build, standing around 6 feet tall. He has wavy chestnut brown hair that falls to his shoulders, and bright green eyes that sparkle with both mischief and merriment. His skin is lightly tanned and has sharp, angular features that give him a mischievous and roguish look. Arden's most striking feature that you've already come to see is his voice, which is deep and melodic, with a bit of a rich, warm quality that is both soothing and invigorating. And you see him kind of wearing like some loose leathers. He's got like a bit of a half cape thrown over one side, and it's carrying kind of a small pouch. You can see like a bedroll. You can also see what looks like some instruments, like a lute thrown over the side, a couple pouches, and a rapier.
I look back at the dome. Yandere, can you turn that off for the light for a second?
Yeah, like clicks on his foot, and turns it off.
Adjust my eyes again. How the hell did you see us over there? So I look back at the dome and like darkness in an opaque dome. You got a sharp ass eye.
Well, I am of wood elven stock, so arboreal forests, traveling through wooded areas and other natural elements is, well, I'm quite well adapted for traveling on the road.
Traveling at night for any particular reason?
Well, as I was trying to explain to your compatriot, I am in the process of trying to reach the next village, Silverwood. I have heard that it is an interesting place for artists and performers and those of a more bohemian lifestyle to spend some time. And of course, I've also been told that it has some very beautiful, majestic natural settings, which might be the perfect place in order to draft some new material. And of course, I've been trying to get there as soon as possible. And of course, as a partial elven, I don't necessarily rest or require so much rest as humans typically do. Very useful for getting around places quickly, I would say.
I mostly bring it up the dangers of traveling at night by yourself.
Oh, well, as I've already demonstrated, I do see quite well, and I am cautious. something that has kept me alive quite a bit. So far, at least.
Yandre mentioned that you were looking to possibly hire a little bit of help to get you to the next town. For at least, not that far away, but we could certainly help you. I would say some form of payment would be required because we are legally binding adventurers. We have a contract thing we have to do. But whatever you thought would be fair for the short distance remaining.
Yes, of course. It's more of a instance of, if I must admit, my plan was to continue traveling through the night, as I dare not stay and make any form of camp alone out here in the wilderness. So it's more of specifically what I would like is no doubt you have a group that is keeping watch. I'm interested if perhaps I could hire your services so that I might actually get a chance to sleep and have the courtesy of your vigilance and protection whilst I do. And then, of course, perhaps we could travel together to Silverwood in the morning. Just so that way I don't have to continue my journey here in the dark and could have at least some time to rest.
Well, I don't see too much of an issue with that. We would require you being a certain distance away from us because, again, we don't know you entirely. You don't know us. There's a layer of distance that should be required, but we will be keeping our typical watch throughout the evening.
Yes, that is, of course, quite acceptable. Sorry, people be sending me shit on the sly.
Just look at the nude I sent you.
Oh, you guys send it to everyone now.
Uh-oh. That one's just for him. You'll get yours later.
This is a legally binding promise.
They're all
Legally binding promise. Da, 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 da. Okay, I'm pretty sure.
secret DM going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can crank up the background music. You all won't hear it, but
Okay. Caleb, the surface thoughts of Arden are one mostly of curiosity. Despite his outward sort of deference, he seems quite wary of your group, and is very interested in sizing you up. You get the sense he's he's far more cunning than he would initially present, and is not going to pass up an opportunity to gauge a group of adventurers he finds on the road.
Okay, so he's just sizing us up, essentially.
Yes. He's very focused on the task that he has. I mean, he's curious who you are, what you're doing here. Yep.
Sounds like he's cruising.
be cruising for a bruising soon. Unless that was a sex thing you were talking about, then I don't know.
Okay. I'm not going to probe further, but I am going to keep up detect thoughts for the duration of its minute while they talk.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is our rock. This is our other rock. You can free to camp out over here.
Yes, though you did mention payment.
Uh,
Not entirely sure what your terms are.
since this isn't an official guild-related job, I, and we're just really aiding in your lookout and travel, we'll just say what you think is a fair compensation, and we'll just judge you based off of that. How about that?
Well, let's see. If I was to hire some guards for normal travel, it's usually 5 gold apiece for the time, provided you provide your own uh, gear and supplies. Um, so I'm not quite certain how many individuals in the party. So should we say 20 gold?
It seems fair. And we'll help keep you safe if anything comes up then.
Yes.
Assuming you don't
Good.
try to kill us.
Well, I am not a master of the arcane per se, but I'm quite familiar with the spell that you have there, and not entirely sure what I would do to neutralize it. Um, Also, you look very handy with that axe.
Thank you. It's a family heirloom.
Right. So does half now and half when we reach our destination sound sufficient?
Sounds fine to me. Yandre will be taking the first watch while you're here, and we'll be rotating from there. We'll pass on the information as the next individuals wake up to take on their watch.
Yeah. And he'll pass over 10 gold
Thank you.
and then kind of move to a spot like on the opposite side of the road, kind of start unburdening himself and, laying out the bedroll and such.
Hi. Hey, Andre. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Caleb, for the remainder of the time that you have it, though he appears to mostly just be going through his own stuff, his thoughts are still continuing to be curious about your other individuals. You kind of get the sense by some of the way his thoughts are working that even though while he's sitting here and prepping his little campsite, he's still keeping kind of an eye on what your party is doing.
What was his reaction to Izal saying trying to kill us?
There was no rise, as far as you can tell. Just kind of surface thoughts. He was not intimidated.
Okay. And keep going.
I wasn't trying to intimidate you. I
And
was joking.
go back to sleep immediately.
I go to my bedroll and I pass out.
Okay. Then Yandere continues out his watch. Caleb, you managed to finally fall asleep before being woken up for your watch.
I'd probably venture to say that I would take a little bit longer, knowing that I woke people up. I'm also an elf, so I don't need to sleep as long. So I would extend some of my watch to give people more opportunity to sleep. Namely, off of Izal. I don't know that Caleb was awake. I went in to wake up Izal, and I know that I woke Izal up.
I'm loud.
Okay. All right. In which case, how long are you just gonna take over Caleb's watch, or are you just gonna give him some hours?
However long I was in the watch before the guy showed up. So like if it was like 2 hours in when the guy showed up in the middle of my watch, then that's how long I'm going to extend my watch.
Yeah. So at that point, it's usually like 5 hours, so it's about 3 hours per watch. So you'll just extend it another hour and a half.
Yeah.
Now that still means Caleb's only going to get like an hour, hour and a half, or Still about 3 hours of sleep before he wakes back up. But I mean, hey, Caleb's used to doing that in real life.
Yep.
Yep, and there's one more watch right after that, so you could probably get at least another hour.
Yep. So Caleb's awake for about 3 hours before he gets the conk out. Or yeah, about an hour and a half before he gets the conk out. Volred takes over, who has also still been awake this entire time.
All right, cool.
But yes, the rest of the evening passes without incident. There is a brief time where you guys kind of watch as like some kind of weird, large, like bison type creatures, like a small kind of herd, makes their way around and then continues off, not recognizing or not registering your group. The bard Arden Brightsong, you hear him kind of shift around a little bit throughout the night. He snores also, but as the morning dawns, your group is the first to wake.
I know why he needs a guard, because he fucking snores. Oh shit. I flip out real quick, I grab the axe, and I go run to the other person's, to Arden's campsite. Fuck.
Right across the street.
Hello, Arden. Wake up.
Yep, as you kind of call out to him, you see him kind of shift a little bit and like look around at you, like kind of bedhead. It's kind of wavy brown hair, just kind of all over the place. Well, not a lot of sleep, but I suppose it could have been worse. Well, I suppose the immediate danger is over. Right. He does the whole kind of sits up thing, kind of slowly getting up.
We're gonna cook some quick breakfast from leftovers. If you wanted to come over, you can meet everybody.
Yes, of course. And I can regale you with some of my songs.
I don't yawn. Yawn is contagious. Alright.
So he kind of packs his stuff up, and you can see him getting just a little bit more energy and jubilance as the kind of camps come to life. Kind of brings his stuff over to the camp as you guys kind of are coming out. He's kind of doing himself up a little bit, still looking a little haggard from travel.
I would have broken the deal down quickly in case Yandere hadn't passed the word. I was like, it's 10 gold now, 10 gold when we're finished, so that's 2 gold apiece, and I will distribute the 2 gold apiece we have right now.
That's Kelmac. Kelmac is the only person that was not awake.
Yes. Well, Kelmac was supposed to be awake for Caleb, but he fucking slept through it.
Yeah.
He took a cat nap.
Just kept going.
Yeah. Well, Anyway, so you guys sitting there, and he goes, yes, I have, of course, met a couple of you this fine evening time. And, well, I am, of course, the bard extraordinaire, Arden Brightsong. Yes, of course, that Arden Brightsong. And, as your compatriot said, you shall be a compatriot of mine for the last hour or so of our journey. Pleasure to meet you all.
Nice to the face to the voice.
Would I know who this is?
You're asking if you've heard of this bard before? Roll me a history check.
Ooh, I'm going to do that.
Oh, no, Caleb knows too. Like this, Yandere and I, no idea.
10, 11.
$14.
Okay. Volred, you have not heard of Arden Brightsong. Calum, you haven't heard of him either. He begins to play over breakfast like just a little tune to kind of, serenade you guys as breakfast is being prepared. The song sounds familiar, so perhaps you've heard it before. You're thinking maybe someone else has performed that song, or maybe you would have caught him at a tavern somewhere, and the performance was either not remarkable or was so long ago that you just don't remember it. But the name itself has no meaning to you.
Okay. I'll actually play with him if he plays a song that I know.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't play one that you seem to know, but you got one that's close enough to where you can kind of thread a little bit in there just to add something. As as breakfast is getting ready and you guys start packing up the instruments a little bit, he goes, Master Caleb, it is nice to find another virtuoso of the note, and play quite well too. You perhaps a gleeman or a bard yourself?
Wanting to go down that path some, but more of a gleeman.
Well, good. The world could always use some more levity in it. And I find music is a universal language.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, and it definitely helps pass the time in taverns.
I overhear the conversation and say, "Oh, I heard you mention levity. Would you like to hear a joke, perhaps?"
Of course. After all, comedy is indeed one of the arts.
Why did the bard go to the temple for a remove curse spell?
I assume because he was cursed.
How else do you think he's going to get divorced?
I get it.
Aha! Well, that is actually quite funny. Actually, yes, a bit of adventurer humor. Well,
What?
I ignore Yandere.
Oh, cause his wife's the curse. Got it. Oh, that's funny. Okay, good. Wait, Volred has jokes?
He's got a book.
apparently so.
No one knows of the book,
All right,
okay?
good.
That wasn't-
Yeah. He kept that shit hidden.
He just
Volred?
suddenly got funny.
I think that's the first time you've told a joke that I actually got.
Yeah, well, y'all have been acting lame lately and so focused on work. So I figured someone's gonna have to be fun around here.
Why did he just call us lame?
I thought I was fun.
I'm like, he's the one that didn't want to go fight a dragon. That's pretty lame.
That's pretty fun to me.
Listen. I don't want to die right away. Okay?
You
I just
already did.
I don't want to die again. I just got my own remove curse finally fully removed. So I'm trying to have a little fun, okay?
By taking
On
the
my
fun away
terms.
from the rest of us?
Oh, I'm still here.
All right.
So, Arden, how far have you traveled?
In total, or
Farthest north, farthest south, east, west? How deep have you gone into the world? Have you been on an
Well,
airship?
I do most of my work here on the actual mainland. I I don't do sailing so much, though. I have gone a few places. I've been to Athoria, of course, a couple times, but mostly I make a circuit between Night Harbor and Elidon.
Hmm.
A couple times I've made my way easter into uh, Ashgar, particularly Karangar, and I have spent a little bit of time up north in the Free Cities, um, particularly Azran. There's some good money to be made there from time to time. You can't stay in too many places at once. You do need to move around to get some new material, which is part of what I'm hoping this Silverwood can help. I, of course, have been there a time or two, but normally there are not so many artists present. So when I heard that there was quite a congregation at the moment, I figured, well, if there was a time to uh, make my way back and perhaps stay a little while, it would probably be now.
Hmm.
Do you say there's a congregation of musicians there?
Oh, yes, artists, painters, acrobats, all kinds, really. Um, from what I have come to understand, it's the natural majesty of the Silverwood forest is, well, it is quite a beautiful place. There's no doubt around that. And Lady Isadora does wonderful work in keeping it pristine. The natural beauty has always been, I suppose you would call, a hidden gem, uh, but has more recently been known to a wider arrangement of individuals who have now reached the town as a bit of tourism to take in the natural beauty. Um, of course, it is quite an inspiring place, I can say. I've not delved too much into the woods, but I can say, at the very least, the area around the hamlet is quite picturesque.
Perhaps we shall have some fun while we're there. Maybe. Sadly, we also have other business pressing, but we shall see what we can find.
Well, if we got nothing going, let's continue our trip here. I will regale you the story of our political goblin friend Gorbeck and his trial on the mountaintop, and
Trial on the mountaintop.
the hobgoblin king Krieg.
That he never faced.
That he had nothing to do with.
Huh, well, sounds like an interesting story.
Yeah. So I just tell the story of like the series of terrible events that happened in that whole situation, and then how I killed Krieg and got a sword, and I show him the sword.
Okay.
And while Izal is telling the story, Kaylin will play in the background, adding dramatic flair. That way Izal actually good story.
It's the best part. This is the best part of the story where I jump over this rock here and I killed and I attacked him and I got him right in the back. It was real cool. This is the shadowy monk hobgoblin. This dude was crazy. He was beating the crap out of Arthur. You don't know Arthur. Arthur was this one guy.
Okay. So, about an hour or so after you guys continue, you guys take a section of the road that begins to divert from the tradeway, heading just slightly north towards a large forested area north of you guys. as you guys kind of enter through that area, the forest here appears kind of like old growth, slightly kind of fairy tale like, where it's not really flat. It's got layers and layers of foliage, and has this sort of arboreal twilight forest feel to it, old growth. But the trees aren't especially large or anything, and there is still plenty of sun that makes its way through the canopy. But you guys don't travel through the forest for too long before you guys kind of break over the top of a hill and look down into a glade that houses a rather picturesque hamlet of only a few dozen buildings, with this kind of large running freshwater river that kind of meanders through it. And even at this distance, kind of sparkles brightly with the morning sun. The whole place has well, it's a very colorful, vibrant, peaceful looking kind of place. And you do see some individuals kind of milling about the hamlet. On the opposite side, you see the land kind of swell up again to another kind of hillock, upon which you can see some individuals. Looks like a couple that are just out enjoying the sun, while it looks like a couple of them have set up kind of artist like easels for painting. Um, as you guys kind of come down this narrow dirt and gravel road down into the hamlet, you guys arrive to Silverwood.
Ta-da!
You guys kind of at the outside. Arden kind of gestures because, see, what did I tell you? Absolutely gorgeous. The kind of place that one can spend quite a deal of time and relax. Simply enjoy a slower pace of life.
Well, we're here looking for some things, so while you enjoy the slower pace of life, we will be doing work, essentially.
Yeah, we have some people to find.
Well, that is quite unfortunate. Do take some time to take care of yourself. If you need me, I'll most likely take a room over at the Silver Loot. And oh, yes, of course. And he kind of reaches into his pocket and pulls out 10 more gold pieces, kind of hands them off.
Thank you.
Glad we were able to help.
If you find a foul-mouthed, dark-haired, dwarven woman, let us know. Accompanied by a
yes, of course.
halfling and a gnome.
Very well. I shall make inquiries.
All right. Well, I distribute. Well, he goes on his way. I distribute the 2 gold apiece again. Oh, that's pretty easy. Look at that. He didn't even try to kill us once.
Easiest 4 gold I've ever made.
4 gold. I've never... Caleb, you've never heard of that guy before?
No. I've heard his music. The songs that he played in the very beginning seemed very similar to songs that I've heard play, but it wasn't really something that I was paying attention to at the time of listening to it.
Wow.
So I don't really remember who was playing it. So it's possible I've seen him, just don't remember.
he did say he stayed like in a circuit and didn't really go a lot of places. So maybe he's more of a local talent.
Maybe. But either way, he's quite good.
Well,
So, where should we even begin to search? I have not been here, correct? Not to this one.
I mean that really kind of depends. You probably don't walk a lot of your places. Um, if you have been here, it probably would have been once, and probably a while ago.
Okay. I'll ask around and find the tavern or the most popular tavern here, if there's multiple.
There is but one, and that is the Silver Loop.
Okay. Then we'll head there first because
we'll wait a
That's
little while
probably-
because that's where he was going, and we don't want to act like we're following him. That'd be awkward.
yeah,
All right, see you later. Go the same direction. Ah, shit.
yeah.
Let's go take
Yeah.
like a couple block walk around or so, and then go over there.
Unless y'all have another idea of someone we should talk to first. All right, let's go.
Anyone seen any dragons? Dragon D's nuts.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to remember that joke.
Yeah, the dragon will really love that one.
Okay, so you guys are heading to the Silver Loop
Yeah.
after a certain amount of time, so as to not appear awkward.
Yes.
Okay.
Keeping an eye out
So,
for those ornery individuals we're looking for.
Yeah, it would
Okay.
really suck if we met them and we completely bypassed them.
I bet they're all wearing eye patches now to really hide their look.
Oh, yeah, eye patches.
Fake beards.
Okay. All right. So, as you guys reach the Silver Loop, which is a kind of picturesque cottage-style tavern in the heart of Silverwood, with a kind of lively atmosphere. You can see like ivy growing up along the outside of it with vibrantly colored flowers. There's, planter boxes in the windows filled with flowers and then flowered shrubs. And everything has this kind of siding that's like painted kind of a lilac purple with kind of white trim, and kind of slate roof. But not a very large place, exactly. Kind of standard for like a small town inn, though larger than a typical village inn. As you kind of make your way inside, the smell of food fills your nostrils, and it smells quite good. Smells of vegetables and hearty meat, and something that smells akin to gravy and fresh bread. Yeah, it's a very warm and inviting atmosphere. The place looks a little sparse. There's only about a handful of people in there, not counting Arden, who at this moment is in the process of having a conversation with a woman who you're guessing is the proprietor. and you kind of look around. It seems pretty standard villager types. You do spot what looks to be a halfling gentleman in kind of these nice, kind of very nice traveling clothes with this kind of honey colored collared shirt and this kind of sky blue heavy vest with these kind of oak toggle buttons. Next to him is like some very large bags filled to the brim with crap. Looks kind of perhaps like a traveling peddler. And then somewhere else in the room, the one that kind of sticks out, you see a tiefling woman with kind of this dark green cloak that's kind of covered up most of her head. And she's just kind of sitting in the corner, nursing a little bit of a drink. Her slightly reflective eyes just kind of glancing around at the newcomers, which includes yourself, and occasionally kind of flipping through a book. But as Arden finishes, he kind of breaks off and kind of heads back to the far side of the room where the stage is located. Looks like he starts setting up. The woman kind of reaches over, cleans off her hands, makes her way towards you. Oh, hi. More travelers. That's quite unusual. Anyway, the name's Gwyneth. I am the owner here of the Silver Lute. And I also manage the talent. So, what can I do for you?
Well, nice to meet you. My name is Caleb, and I'll introduce Volred, Yandri, and Izal. We're just passing through. We were actually wondering if you might have some information on some individuals that may have passed through here recently.
Hi. Yes, I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Go ahead and take a seat. I'll bring out some food and beverage. Let's see. What you looking for? I have a house ale. That's not so bad.
Take some of that, and whatever special you have for food right now.
The present moment, I have a hearty beef stew with some bread.
Sounds good
So,
to me.
all right, I'll bring it out.
As she goes to get the food, I kind of lean over to Izal and Caleb and gesture my head over towards the halfling. And I say, hey, do y'all know what a wanted poster for an escaped halfling divination wizard would say?
And the halfling who's in the process of looking like he's eating like shepherd's pie with like mashed potatoes and vegetables kind of stops and then kind of sees, a little bit of the levity on your face and it's like kind of sets it down and is rapt attention. No, what did it say?
Small, medium, at large.
I see. Comedy's your skill. Good. Good. I don't know that we have too many of your particular talent around here. You should come to the open mic nights here in the evenings. It's an awful lot of fun.
Thank you for laughing at the joke. I will consider it. I'm new to this comedy.
Well, seems you're taking to it pretty well. And you don't know how long you'll be staying or anything, but I can wholeheartedly recommend the food here. Milo, by the way, Milo Honeyfoot. I'm a traveling peddler and collector of rare ingredients.
Sorry, side note, in my mind, I just hear my... What was it? The kid's name? It was Milo.
Yeah, it was Milo.
Beck kept saying, like, Milton or something.
Yes, this guy's name is also Milo. Milo Honeyfoot.
Pleasure to meet you, Milo. I am Volred. And I let y'all introduce yourselves.
I'm Izol. Nice to meet you. Sorry for his joke.
Oh, no, it's perfectly fine at all. I mean, after all, socializing's how you meet new people. And in my particular game, new people means opportunities to make some money. Being a peddler and salesman as I am. So if there's something I can get for you, don't hesitate to ask. I collect all kinds of things. So I travel far and wide to collect the rarest ingredients I can for sale. So just let me know.
Do you have
And
any rare metals for
rare
forge?
metals. Well, I do have a bit of mithril, have a bit of adamantine. Let's see, what kind of rare metal are you talking about? As he kind of starts like dragging over a bag, and you can hear all kinds of stuff mixing in.
It's a bunch of spoons.
Well, I'm going to be seeing an individual, and I'm going to be trading him for something. And I recently learned that the thing that he likes most is, or the things that will loosen his grip on what we want, is more than likely rare materials for him to work with in terms of blacksmith. Things that nobody has.
Well, I suppose I have a couple things. If he's going to forge weapons, though, he might require a bit more metal than I carry on my person. But who knows? I'm not entirely sure what he'll do. Come over. We'll order a pint and see if there's anything that might interest you.
Sounds good to me.
At this point in time, Gwyneth is coming out with bowls of stew, and it's like real thick, hearty stuff, and just puts like a loaf of bread that's been kind of cut into slices in the center of the table. Also drops some tankards and starts filling it with some ale. Kind of is glancing over at Calum and Milo already having a conversation. And she just kind of shakes her head. That peddler. He's been here 2 days, and he'll strike up a conversation and try to earn business with anyone who gives him the time of day. You might want to watch your friends. He's very good at what he does. Next thing you know, your friend will walk out here with no money and a bunch of unusual items.
Don't worry, he doesn't have any money to begin with.
And back at the other table, Milo starts setting out some items, some bars, some ingots of different metals, a couple of which you're aware of. I mean, it looks like mithril, some adamantine. There is also another one that's got kind of this almost crystalline looking quality to it that you don't recognize. And then there are two others. One is is kind of this dark crimson colored metal that seems almost as if it's slightly transparent. You don't know if it actually is, or if it's just like it's got that weird kind of sheen that makes it look like it absorbs a little bit of light or something. You also find something that looks kind of like a white gold. But as it kind of sits on the table, it looks like the edges, like the hard edges, always seem to catch light. So, like, even if it's sitting here, it's just like, oh, the edges are highlights. That's got all of it. It's like a weird mirror finish. He kind of gestures. This is probably some of the rarest stuff I have. Obviously, the mithril and adamantine you're aware of; those are common enough. This one here, and he kind of points out the crystalline one. This is orichalcum. Beard growth. I guess we all have different length beards. Yeah, thanks, random comment guy. So yeah, he's like, so orichalcum, it's a rare metal. Uh, it's mostly, how best to explain? It's a type of ceramic metal, very capable of resisting high temperatures. If you are somehow able to forge it, which typically requires magic, um, it creates blades that are almost immune to heat and never lose their edge. Aside from being incredibly light as well, which of course is very nice for a variety of uses. This one, and he kind of points over to the rare, the red metal. This is blood metal. Um, well, and this one actually has a bit of a story. Um, this is actually forged by condensing blood into elemental iron, specifically the iron that exists in blood. Huh. I know, the magical process causes it to turn red. This particular ingot I purchased from a wizard. Um, well, he was actually not here. It's up in Azrin. This one was taken from the blood of a vampire. And so this is basically his metalloid transmuted vampire's blood into metal, which of course is quite interesting. Um, and well, obviously, and it kind of sits on this piece of cloth, and he's kind of adjusting it as he touches it. It has a bit of a hemophilia to it. It has a tendency of liking to draw close to blood and will consume blood as a, well, anyway, in that sense, weapons or blades forged from such an item will actually cause a bit of bloodletting as wounds tend to leak out more blood as the blood from the wound tends to gush out and be absorbed by the blade, causing the wounds to be more dangerous. Consuming blood also has a habit, I've been told, of repairing the metal as if it's a living creature. I, of course, can't testify to that as I haven't seen any actual weapons forged from this, but that is what I've been told. Although I can, of course, attest to the blood absorption property, which is, well, why I know not to touch it with my hand, as if you hold the metal for a long enough period of time, it will actually leach blood out from your skin and cause blood clots and all kinds of nastiness. Anyway, this last one... What?
Can I touch it?
Well, I mean, I've given you the warning, so I suppose, but please understand that I am not responsible for any harm you may suffer.
Enjoy it. Just watch it happen.
Put a finger right on it. Just doop.
Yes. This last piece is an interesting one. It is called sun silver. It is a fairly rare metal in itself, too. It is derived from silver veins that exist high in the mountains in areas laden with divine magics. It is said to have the power of the sun, which of course is symbolic more than anything, and is said to be, when crafted into weapons, something that causes extra damage to unholy creatures, demons, undead, things of that nature. um, as the metal itself is like acid to their skin. Quite interesting. Yes. Um, Also, it is said that if one could ever forge enough of this, such to make armor out of it, undead would not be capable of physically touching a person forged in such an armor. Um, yes, it's also trinkets of it are also forged in order to ward off dark spirits, corruption, things of that nature. So, what do you think?
Seems like you do have a very nice collection.
Well, yes, of course. I do try and collect as much as I can. Like I said, I mostly deal with exotic stuff, and so because of that, I don't tend to deal in volume in anything that I have.
Yeah.
It's mostly for the collectors who would like some little pieces for their collections, mostly.
So, looking at the ingots that I see in front of me, and given the knowledge that I know of the individual we will be going to go see about the weapons,
Mhm.
which one would Caleb more be leaning towards?
Well, mithril and adamantine, while rare,
Or no type of rare?
are not unheard of. Like you can generally get those in any city, and conceivably you could get any of these metals perhaps in a large enough city if you knew where to look. Um, Orichalcum is definitely a name you've heard, but it is not something that is common.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rare even for rare material. Um, but obviously the blood metal and sun silver, those are two that you have never heard of. Um, and honestly, you're not entirely sure whether or and based on what you've been told, they seem to be rare enough to where you will may never come across these metals again.
The blood one does seem very interesting, and I think that would be intriguing. But I feel as though giving that metal to an individual who is trying to remove a curse from two weapons, transferring the magic to something else, is just not the best way to go. So I'm thinking the other way.
The sun silver.
Yes, the sun silver. You said you have one ingot of that?
Um, let me see. Yes, just the one, unfortunately. This is quite an interesting ignet. Obviously, it has to come from a silver vein high up in the mountains and consecrated land. Um,
So this
and
would
there has to be
be
enough of it to smelt an entire ingot. Not easy to get, unfortunately.
so this would
Um,
be a one shot thing. How much for that ingot?
well, I can honestly say this is a 1 pound ingot. So you're mostly looking dagger or arrow tips, things of that nature, if one could forge anything out of it. Um, it's rare enough that I could command a price of several thousand gold pieces, but there is also 1 pound. I suppose I could let it go for 500 gold.
Um,
Of course, as I said, I'm a peddler, so I also deal in trade. If you have something reasonably rare to exchange.
All right. So just for your, how much is the Pearl of Power in terms of Caleb? How much would you think that would be worth?
The Pearl of Power is usually 500 market rate, which means you would normally sell for half price. Maybe if you're doing a trade, you can get a higher conversion rate out of it. Because they are also suitably more common than Sun Silver.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take out the Pearl of Power. How much would you trade for this?
He kind of takes a look at it. Pearl of Power. That's well, it's not exactly rare.
But it is
No,
useful.
it is useful. So I won't deny that I would have little trouble attempting to sell it or trade it for something else. I suppose it does take up less room and weight than what I have. Normally, when we do trades, my standard reduction for profit margin is 25%. And he kind of gives you a nice long look. But I think I like you. I mean, after all, you clearly have good tastes, and I have a feeling you'll put it to good use, being dashing adventurers as you are. So we'll make the markup 10%. So that means 450 gold. If I manage to sell it to someone else at full price, that means I'll make 50 gold. Not my best markup, but, as I said, I can be confident that it will be put to good use. And after all, if you certainly went for the sun silver as opposed to the blood metal, which I imagine most adventurers might do, which would tell me that you are in need of this, or perhaps you are, well, a more, how shall I say, chivalrous group of adventurers. The do-gooder kind,
We definitely try to be.
Yes.
I will accept that. And then I will supplement the other costs with gold. So I will actually give over 550 gold.
And the Pearl of Power.
Yeah.
Which you have had for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he starts wrapping his stuff up, kind of slides over the sun silver. He goes, well, it was a pleasure doing business with you, of course. And he takes the pearl and then the gold and kind of starts parceling it out back in his bag. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. Yeah, and he kind of reaches into his little, that light into his vest, pulls out like a business card and hands it over. While I do travel, obviously you can get a hold of me. I do keep regular mail. The address is on the card, of course, so if you do require anything, feel free to stop by. I do occasionally have a bit of a pop-up shop in Avedon whenever I stop there to kind of sell off some of my wares. So if you're ever in town, you might as well stop by and see if perhaps there's something that I can do for you if I happen to be in town. Mostly I spend time in the bazaar.
Yeah.
If you're over there.
What happened to Izal's finger after she put her finger on the blood?
Oh, I took it off. It started to hurt.
Yeah, it starts hurting a little bit, and it almost kind of looks like blood sweat coming out of the hands. It's like, oh, that's odd. And you get the little prickly sensation in your hand.
Yeah.
Oof. I think that would be interesting, but that is not what I'm going for.
I prefer the method of taking all of the blood out of their body.
Ha! Well, bloodsteel would definitely help you there. As I said, it causes wounds to gush rather than pour.
Yeah.
But yeah, dangerous stuff. Normally, I wouldn't traffic in things like this, but I imagined it was so rare and so useful. Of course, I'm going to have some ability to get it sold. So,
Yeah. I'm assuming I'm putting this under my other possessions.
yep,
What's the bar called again?
sun silver.
An ingot of sun silver.
Yeah, 1 pound ingot. Yep. This rare metal is imbued with the power of the sun and is highly effective against undead creatures and other creatures of darkness. Weapons and armor made from sun silver are often used by paladins and other holy warriors.
Yeah, I'll keep that in my bag for when we do finally make it to that individual.
I think Caleb finally has less money than me now.
In my
Finally, Caleb's usually broke.
I
I have 36
full.
gold,
Oh, you still have more gold than I do.
but then I also have in my other possessions 30 gold worth of cups, spoons, or forks, and 11.3 gold of spoons and other knickknacks.
I have 18 gold. And just like silver and copper. Why am I always poor?
You keep on giving money away.
I'm a nice person.
So am I. You also bought a lot of. Well, how much did you spend on those potions?
That's none of your concern. If you die, then it'll be your concern. It's like I was saving it for when I needed it. That was for this fight.
This fight in particular.
I didn't buy me one because I don't need one.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna go back to the party and drink and eat some, and then show off what I got and put it back in my bag.
It's a nice rock.
Yeah. I plan to barter with it. And we shall see how that works out. When the time comes.
Well, want to go scour the town to see if those punks are here? Yeah. I do. I'm going to go do that.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Is there a place in particular you were wanting to have a look?
Judging by, they're probably not in a very prominent area. Start on the outskirts of town. Look for little campsites, the people that might not be staying in town, and work our way in. Also, look inside
Okay.
this building to see if they're just here.
Well, we also haven't asked the tavern owner yet.
Oh, yeah, true. You guys did say you had questions for her.
Yeah.
And she was gonna talk, but Milo Honeywood or Honeyfoot.
The
After I
pet.
finished talking to Milo, I would say that I would ask her the same questions as the last.
Okay. So as that happens, and Milo's done, happy. Gwyneth kind of makes her way back out, kind of coming to the table, brushing off the hands a little bit, tucking it in. Um, well, sorry for Mr. Honeyfoot. He, as I said, he has a way with getting people to part with their coin. But you said you had questions that you needed to ask.
Man,
Yes.
angry female dwarven lady, black hair, stays in the company of a gnome, a halfling, and a half elf.
Sounds vaguely familiar. I do partially recall someone, group coming through town. Didn't necessarily stay that long. They never really did come to me. I saw them from a way off. They had a bit of a run-in with the town sheriff, Talon, and well, from what I understand, they uh, maybe spent some time under lockup for a little bit before escape or something. I don't really know. You'd really have to talk to Talon to figure that part out. So this time of day, I'd say you could probably find him down by the river. He's usually doing some fishing at this point.
All right, thank you very much. I'll see you later. I'm gonna go check for talent. Yandre, you wanna come? Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Volred, do you wanna hang out here and tell jokes?
Well, I have one I could tell right now.
Lay it on us. What do you got?
Why can't Azal keep her hands off her axes?
Oh boy, it's better. This better be good.
I point at her chest and say, all that cleavage.
Ah, hello. This is good stuff.
This is what happens whenever a player just finds a resource and they gotta find a way to use it in game.
I like it.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
you guys can spend some more time in the tavern. Izal, Yandre, you guys head over to the river, where you do find like two individuals. One appears to be an artist, half elven, who is set up, kind of perched on a rock, kind of painting a scene of the river and some of the landscape. And a half orc gentleman who at this point is like shirtless, has this kind of dark, kind of ebony skin, and it's just kind of standing, and not exactly waders, but he has some breeches on, and he's standing out in the water, looks like fly fishing.
I will approach him. I'm assuming that the half orc is Talon and not the painter.
As you approach, the half orc kind of glances over to you. You can see what look almost kind of like druidic tattoos around his body, and like some ear piercings of like pieces of bone or wood. he just kind of gives you perhaps like a little bit of a druid vibe, but not a druid. Um, so he's kind of looking at your group. Ah, new people in town, huh?
Hi.
Yo,
That's it. That easy to tell, huh?
Well, we have a lot of visitors coming around here recently, but I haven't seen you before. So you just walking around talking to every single person you come across, or
Only the
you here for
shirtless
a reason?
ones. Just talking to the shirtless ones. You arrested some adventurers about a week or so ago.
Kind of sits there for a moment thinking, ah, yeah, had some adventurers make their way into the town, and harassing some of the local populace a bit. They had no money and were looking around for charity, which, of course, we're not really opposed to giving, but they were quite insistent and, well, were very aggressive with their asking. So, and they didn't take kindly to be told no.
You wouldn't happen to know after you let them go, like where they went?
I didn't exactly let them go. I held them for a while, uh, but they managed to escape a couple days back. Made their way just a little bit east along the trail, I think. But they left most of their goods and supplies here, except mostly what they were able to kind of carry with them. So I don't imagine they'll get too far. Most likely they're either dead or they'll make their way back into town full of heartfelt apologies or something like that soon.
I'm just introductions, I guess, would be appropriate at this point. We've asked enough questions. I'm Izal Zella. These are traveling compatriots, allies. I'm not going to introduce them. I will gesture to them so they can introduce themselves, though. Because
Yadre.
Caleb.
Wait, did we all go?
if you stay at the tavern,
think
you're
you're
by
the-
yourself.
Well, you and Kelmac, I
Oh.
think.
Kelmec.
Oh, that's right, with Kelmac. I thought okay.
He just kind of nods to everyone in turn. The name's Talon Shadowhunter. I'm, well, I suppose you could say I'm the town's sheriff, such as we have one.
We're the Silver Knights of the Mythal. The group that you arrested were impersonating our group, and they have a bounty out for them. So we're trying to, track them down and kind of take care of the situation by, turning them in.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a real pain in the ass. Have to track them down yourself. I suppose it's cheaper than hiring another group, but I suppose it won't be too hard. In my personal experience, they're incompetent.
Wouldn't happen to have a good description of them? Did they use any names? Did they slip up, give names that didn't seem all right there? Could we possibly take a look at their belongings, see if there's any way of some clues we might take a look at?
Yeah, understood. Well, they
Whenever you're
gave
finished
at
up
least.
here.
Yeah. But yeah, the names I don't much recall the names they gave, though it seems similar to the ones you just gave me. So at least it sounds to me as though they were definitely trading on your name. I have their items still in lockup, so whenever I get done here, perhaps around the afternoon, another couple hours, I'd say, you can meet me over at the council house, and I'll show you what they have, and hopefully that can help you guys out.
Much appreciated. This will definitely help out.
Well, good. In the meantime, if you need anything else, you might talk to Darian, Windrider. He's basically our town's, I suppose you could say he's our scout and woodsman. He spends a lot of time out in the area around, so if he's seen any evidence of those individuals around here, he'd be the one to know.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, do you want to go looking for him?
For Darian?
Yeah, Darian Windrider?
Windrider, yeah.
Cool last name.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait. It just that way, if they take too long, I could just go to the town, whatever guard place.
Yeah.
Okay. So were you guys going to go look for Darian now?
That's what Yandre is going to assume since he's all just asked if we're going to go look for Darian.
Yeah, but then it's all mentioned waiting and
I
stuff,
was
and I was
going
like,
to wait because if they go look for him and take too long, I'll just be waiting here.
That way she can go look at his stuff. Look at the people's stuff if he ends up leaving.
okay. So he's all's gonna chill with Talon, and then Yandre, were you gonna go look for Darian then?
I was going to go.
Yes.
Okay. So, asking about, you guys are sent to a small, not really fortress or encampment, kind of bit more of a shack on the north side of town, as it kind of meets more of the heart of the forest. Sitting out front is a half-elf individual who is in the process of what looks like cutting new staves for arrows, and has feathers and other fletching equipment about them. As you kind of approach, Darian kind of looks up at your group. New set of adventurers. Welcome. I suppose you're looking for me, or just heading into the woods?
No, we was told to come look for you. Talon?
Talon, sheriff, yes. An excellent tracker and fighter himself, but he deals more with threats inside the town, whereas I guard the periphery. So,
Going to do it.
adventurers, I take it you're here looking for the dragon, or perhaps some guide through the forest?
Well, we're looking for two things. One, the dragon. So I'll take some information on that. And then two, there was a group of adventurers that came in here that were arrested not too long ago. Gosh, I don't remember exactly what they look like. Azal usually keeps all that stuff. But they were going under the name of, what was your previous name? DBAS&M?
Yes, and I will give a brief description of the individuals that he is asking about.
Yeah, I vaguely recall Talon mentioning something about them. I've never met them myself. I spend most of my time out here. But I do recall seeing some of their footprints hanging around the place a little while after they supposedly left.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to figure out. Have you seen anything about them in the near recent past? Like anything that would lead that they're still around here?
Well, I've seen some fresh tracks from that group probably yesterday morning. It didn't look to be more than a day old at the time, so I suppose they're still in the area. Mostly on the western end of the river. If you follow the Storywater down southwest, closer to where it reaches the ocean, then or the sea, then you should be able to see at least some evidence of them on the north or western side of the bank.
Northwestern side.
Yeah. Just if you head back in town, cross the river, and then start following the river southwest, keep an eye out. You won't find any necessarily fresh ones immediately near the village. It seems as though they at least stayed around some of the wooded areas for a day or so, and then slowly started making their way southwest towards the tradeway. Based on that, if they traveled hard and fast, they maybe could have made it to Asterum by now. Unless, of course, they met with an untimely end.
That wouldn't happen to be out in the same direction that the dragon is, right?
I suppose. I haven't been able to track the dragon, though I have tried quite a bit myself. I have seen it mostly in that direction, but have also seen some of its tracks farther north in the woods. Particularly if you take the Silvery Water northeast, almost until you reach. There's a series of glades and waterfalls up there. The Storywater falls as it breaks in some of the highlands. And there's also a place that I guess, suppose you could go and look at. The Moonlit Grove is what we call it a little bit around here. Oh, at least that's what her ladyship calls it. I've seen tracks up there as well. Whether that means it's just part of the hunting range, I cannot say. As far as I can tell, the dragon hasn't come close to the city yet.
I got you. Well, much appreciated. And you said the last time you saw tracks of these individuals was a day ago?
Yes. Yesterday morning, the tracks themselves looked about a day old, so I would thereby assume they're a couple days old by now.
Okay. In that case, we will try and find them whenever we can. But current moment, we might have a different agenda, depending on how far away they get. And thank you for giving us the locations of the places you've seen the dragons, because that is something that we are also interested in.
Well, I'd be very interested to be rid of this dragon as well. Though, I must admit, based on the tracks I saw, it appears to be an adult. If that's the case, then, well, you have your work cut out for you.
Yes, we do. We will figure it out. And I'll also say we've prepared for it as much. And I'll look over to you, Andre. Any other questions you might have?
Nah, I hope not.
All right. I think I'm good to go. I'm going to head out.
Huh. Well, I suppose it was a pleasure talking to you. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you.
Will do. Thank you.
And he's kind of eyeing you guys as you go to leave. musing around, well, I guess we can go ahead and call it there for tonight.
Yeah.
So, I guess we will pick it back up next week for session 81.
Yeah.
Cool. Midday. Ish.
Yeah.
And next week, I think we're missing 2 people, correct?
I think it's the week after.
The week after? Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. See you all next week. Same time. More D&D.
Bye.
Chasing down some mean people. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye.